Now scream queen with a million smiles. Catching all the love from around the world. Whoa. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? Shine your light in the darkest times. You make it bright, bright. Live stream dreams, we're all by your side, by your side. Come on, do what you do, girl. You're one of a kind, one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're our live stream star. Keep rocking your show, no matter where you are.
Hey, Shelly from the block. Jersey girl with a mouth that won't stop, no, no. Sassy, and I'm not afraid to show it. Don't spill the tea, you better be ready for it. I speak my mind, no filter inside. Shelly's in the house, talking trash and truth. Trash and truth. No sugar-coated grooves. Never leave, then get out the way. Jersey girl with something to say. Shelly's in the house, time to break the rules. From Oates to the city, I'm the queen of cool. You can handle the heat, then take the high. Shelly's in the house, drop the mic.
Hey, Shelly in the house tonight. Living it up, feeling so right. Yeah. New Jersey girl, she's got that style. Live stream queen with a million smiles. And she know the love from around the world. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? It's time to make it right. Live stream queens with a waistline. You're one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're a live stream star. Keep rocking the show no matter where you are.
Hey, happy Friday. This is Shelly, your mouthy mama, talking trash and truths. And this is Coffee and Chaos with T3. That's me. It is 9:33 a.m. on April 26, 2024, the year of... Instead of it being the year of our Lord, it's kind of like the year of, oh my God. Like, you're just like, what's next? I can't, y'all. I can't. Yeah, that's me. Hey, winning. Threw me off. Let's say hello to everybody. Daisy was here over an hour ago. Saying good M, sweeties. Good M, Daisy girl. My love. How are you? Hope you and the puppers are doing well. And we got Wolfram dropping links like they're hot. Wipes his paws, lopes in, and howls. Auga. I know that's not a howl, but that's my howl. Because it's way too early to howl in this house. And I'd probably blow out the mic. And I've got winning reality. Here we go. How you doing, babe? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm sure people will roll in soon. I was going through my Twitter feed and I'm just looking at all the student protests out there. It's, whatever. I went to a very liberal college in Jersey. Imagine. But I went to a very liberal college. I was, an English major, so all the freakazoids were in my classes, which is half the reason why I stopped being an English major. They just weren't like me. They were, I don't know, they were all activists, and I just kept looking at them going, but why? Like, none of that shit affects you at all. And I knew they would go to these protests and they would, form rallies and whatever. It was a thing. And a lot of it was about, like the different wars that had just gone on, because we'd just gotten through or we were still in the middle of the Persian Gulf War, and it was a whole thing. Everybody was panicking. Oh my God, I'm 18. They're going to draft me. They hadn't had the draft in decades, but okay. All they had to do was say they were gay, because back then they wouldn't let you in the military if you said you were. So it was now they're it's an open door policy. Hey, you're gay? Come on over. We got these beautiful, rifles and this camo print. It's just gorgeous. I can't. I don't remember growing up around women who didn't look like women or act like women, even the lesbians, and men who looked and acted like men. I mean, granted, there was a lot of emotional stuntedness to my generation. And we all tend to either mask our feelings, over project our feelings, or pretend we have no feelings. Those are like the 3 degrees of the Gen Xer. But we are the original generation of the people who raised themselves. We're literally just wild animals just running around. And I see all these different TikToks and YouTube shorts, and they're hilarious because all they talk about is this is the generation that you need to make something happen. But do you realize what you have to do to motivate us to do anything? Because we're just used to looking out for ourselves. We're literally like, oh, you can walk. Okay, you can take care of yourself. Like, you're fine. You're a year old. You got this. It's okay. I have faith in you. Don't ever ask me for anything. That was my family's thing. Don't ask me for anything. If you want something, you earn it. I had an allowance. Y'all had an allowance? If you haven't figured it out, today's thing, I just wanted to have fun today. I want to reminisce. I want to go down memory road and mock things terribly, enjoy some things, and just laugh. I just want to have a good day. Today is Friday Flashback. When I was young, weak, and we all can finish those statements. I would love to know what's the first thing that springs to mind. Pretend you're playing Mad Libs. Y'all remember Mad Libs? You right? They can't even do that now. You realize? Because these kids don't know the difference between a noun, a verb, an adverb, an adjective. None of them. They don't know any of them. It could say insert this word or like, this kind of word. And they're like, I don't get it. And then they'll read the sentence. Because I played it with my son and he was like, that sentence makes no sense. I was like, see, I don't get it if it's because you're autistic or because you're one of these kids who just doesn't have an imagination in this, because everything is on the tablet for you. Everything's on a screen. You don't have to come up with anything. If you think of something, somebody else has done it and you go, oh, I'll just watch somebody else's. I'm not going to work on it myself. Oh, Lefty trotting in here with his eggplant. Hello, honey. Everybody give the magnificence, and attention to the eggplant that he needs. Make sure you do that. Because, that's what he likes. It's beautiful, big purple eggplant. Do you know that they start out white? Isn't that funny? There's no, euphemism there at all. Eggplants start out white and small and then get darker. As they get bigger, they get darker. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. Nobody named it an eggplant for that reason. No. Told you. English major. I see and I interpret everything. I see between the lines, even when there's nothing to see. English major. If there's nothing to see between the lines, my head will just make it up. It's like automatic Mad Libs, but I do Mad Lib in like long form, much like my videos. That's why I don't do short videos because everything has to be long form. I was thinking, what are some of the things that you guys heard growing up? I heard a lot of things that they just don't fly with my kids. And it doesn't fly with what we've been taught to do in society now. Like one of the main rules was don't ever take rides from strangers. So what do? We use our phones to book rides with people we've never met. We don't know their names. We don't know anything about them. They pull up. They say, are you so-and-so? Yeah. Okay, I'm your Uber. And you get in. And you trust these people to take you wherever the hell you need to go. Did y'all have codes at school or like just in life in general as a kid that your mother, like if somebody showed up and said, oh, hey, such and such, because they heard somebody else yell your name, your mom sent me to come get you and bring you home. You'd look at them like, no. First of all, my mother doesn't even know where I am. That's number one. And number two, who the fuck are you? I never met you. Because you knew all your parents' friends. All of them. There was not one friend that you didn't know because if you didn't meet them in person, you had to answer the phone and go, yeah, hi, who is this? All right, hold on. Ma, do you want to talk to such a now I'm sorry, she's in the shower right now. she just stepped out. I'm sorry, she's in the bathroom. She's on the toilet. I used to love telling people my grandmother was on the toilet. Oh my God, it used to piss her off. No pun intended. Wolfkinder. I had a feeling you'd be here because I know I can always count on you for nostalgia to go and geek out about like the old days with me, about old music and funky things. And just, I knew you'd be here. I'm so happy you're here. Welcome, welcome. I hope you have a wonderful weekend too. All of you. But yeah, we did tons of things. You know, I vividly remember my grandmother always say, no, don't eat anything, no sweets before dinner. You'll ruin your appetite. Okay. You know, and I'd try to sneak something or whatever. We weren't allowed to have sweets before the meal. Now the sweets are the meal. One, many families don't eat together anymore. We eat, as my grandmother would say, what are you, a caveman? You're going to eat over the sink? Like cavemen had sinks. But sit down, get a plate. We eat everything on the go, or we eat at the computer, or we eat at the TV, but we don't like make the meal anymore. It's no longer just family time and gathering time. Now it's just, oh yeah, I'm just going to grab this and go. So, and you grab something that's quick and easy and probably full of crap, but everything we eat is full of sugar. Don't have sweets, you'll ruin your appetite. And then now your meals are made entirely of sugar in one form of another or another. It's strange the things that have changed. You know, don't touch the stove. I'm the boss. Don't play with matches. Don't do that. Move away from, that was my favorite. Move away from the TV or pull the book away from your face. You're going to ruin your eyes. Okay. They didn't talk about screen time. They just knew, back the fuck up away from the TV. Just back up. What do we do now? We have laptops and these little itty bitty screens that you literally, especially as you age, and I know y'all do this, you either pull it all the way up to your face to read it or you pull it really far away. I used to laugh and tell my mother, you want me to take that and hold it at the other end of the room so you can read it? And she'd be like, you're such a smart ass. You'll get old one day, Michelle. Yeah, all right, whatever. But my eyes won't suck like yours. Go to an eye doctor. And go to an eye doctor. Yeah, okay. I lie to the eye doctor. He's like, can you see that? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. He's like, no, really, you can see that? Yeah. Which one is clearer? I don't know. Well, this one or this one? I don't know. Well, does this look clear? I got into such a fight with my eye doctor because he's like, Michelle, A or B? I don't know. They look the same to me. Well, B or C? They look the same. A or C? A or C? No. A or C? They look the same. They're all different, Michelle. Well, they look the same to me. Like, he was like so affronted. There's gotta be a difference. I was like, there's not. He was like, are you squinting? No. He was like, you are. I'm not squinting. He was, stop squinting. Blink. All right, rest your eyes a minute. I'm like, rest my eyes. What am I, my grandmother? I do that now. My kids will be like, oh, you were asleep? I wasn't sleeping. I was just resting my You were resting your eyes. You were snoring, Mom. I don't care. I was resting my eyes. I wasn't asleep. Shut up. Like I really wasn't. Wolfkinder said, my grandmother, when the adults wanted to talk freely, go outside. I'm sick of looking at you. What about go outside and play in traffic? Now, we knew that they didn't want us to play in traffic. We didn't take it personally. You're just like, I'll go play in traffic. You'll be sorry when I'm dead. Whatever car hits me. They're like, yeah. Go ahead, grumble all you want, but get the hell out. Like nothing. Get out. Thought nothing of threatening us in public. Right? You walk into the store. If you like went to touch something in the supermarket, don't you dare. My mother wouldn't even go down the cereal aisle unless she was like ready to get whatever the hell I wanted to get. She'd be like, we're only getting this because money's a little tight this week. And I'm like, all right. Don't ask me for anything. Nothing. Okay, fine. And I would wait because I'd weigh it in my head. What do I really want? Do I want some kind of like, like sugar thing? Do I want some salty thing? Or do I want to wait till checkout so I can get a new like book, or I can get like an Archie magazine or something like that? The book always went out for me because I was, a nerd. But and I spent all my time by myself. Like the cookie or whatever the hell she could have bought me would be gone in like 10 seconds. But the book, I could read it over and over and over. And I did. And it taught me a lot about, humor and social relationships. Archie magazine was my favorite. Archie's Double Digest. If they had Archie Double Digest, I was like, I was so happy because it would last me the weekend. And I was only with my mother for the weekend. But I learned all about like boy-girl relationships, best friend relationships, everything from that. Not Judy Bloom, not any of that, like Archie's Double Digest. Betty, Veronica, Archie, Jughead, that Mr. whatever, Mr. Bumblebee, I forget what the fuck his name was. He was a big fat dude. Like he looked like Harvey Weinstein. But hey, Amber Aleka, good M lovelies. Hello to you. Happy Friday. Wolf Kinder, don't make me pull this car over. Oh my God, that was a fan favorite. That was a fan favorite. Do not make me pull this car over. I swear to God. And you'd be like, all right, can you at least roll down the windows? Because the smoke is killing me. Because they smoked everywhere. I don't remember anybody in my family who didn't smoke, except grandma. And of course, the one that got all like, all the cancers was grandma. Like, because the secondhand smoke was like horrible. But my mother smoked, my grandfather smoked, my Aunt Lee smoked, my Aunt Marie smoked, my uncle at one point smoked, my father at one point smoked, my biological father always smoked like a fucking chimney. And he used to smoke those, it's funny, I remember what all of them smoked. My mother started with Virginia Slims because apparently that made you ladylike. So Virginia Slims for my mother and my two aunts, that's what they smoked before they moved on to Benson and Hedges. And now my mother just smokes Marlboro Light 100s. I'm like, why? I'm like, that has no taste whatsoever. Because, dude, once you switch to menthol, you can't switch back. You just can't. Like, you go from menthol to going back to, you're like, ugh. Like, you're like, oh my God, that tastes terrible. Guess what? The menthol don't taste great either, but it's minty. So you can fool yourself and say, oh, but it's like chewing gum. No, it's not. No, it's not. In the car when the cigarette ash went out the front window and came back and hit you. Yep. You'd hear the close your window and be like, oh shit, you'd run. And these kids don't know what it's like to have to close a window. They push a button, the window closes. No. Do you remember the crank? And you were like, the smaller you were, the harder it was to do. So like I would stand up because I didn't wear seatbelts because what's a seatbelt? Those are those things that get hot and you have to shove into the crease of the seat so you don't sit on them the whole time, right? Because that's what we had. We didn't have seatbelt laws until we were like, until I was what, 10, 12? Around that age. Like I remember I was so pissed that we were driving to Florida and I had to wear a seatbelt. So daddy installed a special seatbelt in the back seat. Not the kind that you pull out, because ours, we only had the ones that you pulled out. All of his were fancy. So you had to pull them out. And if you didn't pull them out all the way, like the first time, it would get stuck and you'd have to start at the beginning and go all the way back and then pull it out again. And you'd pull it all the way out with two arms and you like hold it and then try to go around and like click it before it like snapped back. And then it would pull back the entire ride until you like, all right, and I'm part of the seat now. Because it was like, it would just squeeze you a little harder. And if God forbid they stepped on the brake, like suddenly, and you had that kind of seatbelt on, you went forward in two pieces. It felt like it was going to cut you in half. Because it was horrible. Friggin' rides at the amusement park didn't have seatbelts that good. But he had to change ours and he put in a regular slack one that just hung there. Like it was really long because I used to like to go to sleep in the car. I don't get motion sickness. So like if I'm bored, I'm just going to go to sleep, and I fall asleep in the car so quick, it's ridiculous. That's how my mother used to put me to sleep as a kid. That she would just drive around for hours when I was a baby because I had a hard time falling asleep, even as a baby. And she would put me in the car and then she would just drive around, drive in circles, like whatever. Sometimes she would just put me in the car seat, put me in the car, turn the engine on, and she'd go back upstairs. And she'd come down in like an hour or two to see if I was asleep. Who does that? My mother, apparently. So it was like, and I mean, these are stories that she proudly told me over the years. And I'm just sitting there looking at her going, you left me in a running car, keys in the ignition, engine going for a couple hours. You were right downstairs, Michelle. It's not like we lived in the country. We literally lived on Main Street. Like that was the name of the fucking street we lived on when I was a baby in Richfield Park. And we lived above a liquor store. So God only knows what was coming out of there. She's like, you were right there. But you couldn't see me. Well, no, I mean, I didn't sit by the window. I had things to do. So you just left me in a car. Did you at least have like that? We didn't have AC. No AC. No AC. Just, I cracked the windows. So you left me in a car by myself at like 6 months old. No matter what the season, did it matter? She was like, no. She was like, but the window was open. With the window open and the car going with the key in the ignition for a couple hours, unsupervised, unprotected. The doors were locked. But the windows were open. They were only open halfway. Oh, and I was just like, she's telling me this, and I'm like, you're a horrible mother. She's like, nobody was gonna take you. Trust me, if they took you, they'd bring you right back. Thanks, Ma. That was always, nobody will ever steal you, Michelle. No, trust me, they'll bring you right back. Yeah, because killing me and throwing me on the side of the road isn't easier than, hey, lady, take this back. Like, but yeah, no, the cigarette ash. Oh, Jesus. The lit cigarette going out the window, and you're just like, Jesus, you're like, you set my hair on fire. They're like, where'd it go? I don't know. It's back here somewhere. Well, find it. Just find it. Or you'd be the one who had to empty the ashtray in the car, which was always, bleh. I always cut my hand because they made them to stay in, right? And you had to, like most of them, you had to slide them out. Then you had to push down on that little tab in the back with the circle in it, where they put the cigarette out. Yeah, you had to touch that. So you had to push that down to pull the little metal tab behind it down so you could slide it all the way out of the car. And then you had those lovely, hey, push my button cigarette lighters. Do you remember those? Don't touch anything. Who makes a car that even if it's off, the cigarette lighter fucking works? Oh, that's great. Leave a bunch of kids in the car. Oh, well, don't worry. The engine's off. Yeah, but I put it on. I put the power on so they could listen to the radio. Well, you know what happens when we're listening to the radio? The radio's right above the cigarette lighter. What does this do? Oh, this is what Mom uses. Let me push it. All right, take it out. Oh, it's bright orange. Oh, now it went back to black. I'll do it again. You'd sit there and just do it over and over and over. Burn the shit out of your fingers, not tell your mother, because then you're getting hit because you shouldn't have touched the fucking lighter. It's like, okay, like I'm amazed that any of us made it. Any of us. Amber said my mom used to ride in the trunk storage part of the station wagon. Yep. Bouncing at all the bumps. What trunk storage? The station wagon, we'd have 6 kids back there. With the window open, because our station wagons had the roll down window. That big, long roll down. Yeah, great. Hit a bump. We all go out the back window. Or the better part, drop the door if you were lucky enough to have the kind that swung down instead of swinging out. Those sucked. Because you had to take like a running leap if you had to get into the thing and close that door. You were like, you're holding onto the door, running, and then you jump in, you inevitably hit yourself or caught something somewhere. But there was no other way to close those doors if the adult didn't do it. Because they were really long. You're talking about like 4-foot long doors. Like they were heavy. And you're little. But I mean, if you had the kind that swung down, everybody just go ahead, go sit on the tailgate. Okay. And then they drive around at like 40 miles an hour. Hold on. Okay. I knew what an oh shit handle was before the car actually had one. We didn't have those. We had little hooks. The oh shit handle was you grab onto the door. Don't lean against the door. You'll fall out. Like the door is just going to spontaneously open. That was the fear. Don't be worried about us falling out of the window as we're up out of the window going down a highway because we want to feel the wind. I want to look like the dog. I want to feel the wind in my face. Great. Feel the wind in your face as a tractor trailer takes your head off. It's great. It's great. They never said anything. If you didn't bother them, they didn't bother you. Come on, every night, 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? That was the TV. Every night, the TV said, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? And my grandmother would look at me every time they did it. She would look over. And I'd be like, where do you think I'm going to be? Where do I go? You don't let me out of the house. Like, I'm not allowed to go hang out anywhere. Where am I going to be? And she'd just look at me and always be surprised that there I was. Okay, here I am. Here I am. But yeah, the station wagon, who didn't, like, even with the regular car, who didn't climb up on that back visor? On that little shelf where they had like the button, old people had the bobblehead dog. That's how you knew somebody was over 60. They had the bobblehead dog in the back. And you'd be like, look, there's one of them. And you knew like what generation was what when you had like the baby on board sign and whatever. It was like, whatever. That was supposed to be like a cautionary thing. And then it turned into some weird fucking fad. Baby on board, dog on board, family on board. Blah, blah, blah. I hope a family's on board, like driver on board. Well, Tesla wasn't around yet. So yeah, I hope you're there. Otherwise, somebody like, Christine is like driving your car. Christine being the Stephen King thing. My gen will get that reference. These generations are like, who's Christine? Shut up. Yeah, but the big thing was I used to sit between my grandparents from the back seat so I could talk to my grandmother because I was bored. So I would sit on the bump in the back on the floor. And I'd squeeze myself into like between the two bucket seats that they had in the front, and I'd lean forward, no seatbelt, no nothing. And my grandfather would just say, if I get pulled over, you better put that seatbelt on. All right. Keep your head low. All right. It wasn't, oh my God, be safe. It was, I better not get a ticket because of you. That was the whole, I better not get a ticket because of you. Wolfkinder, oh my God, my grandmother smoked Benson Hedges. My mom smoked Bel Air. Uh-huh. There were coupons on the back that you collected and sent for things. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My father smoked more. Those were those long brown cigarettes, which I was like, I didn't realize till later that he smoked those so that when he switched to a blunt, nobody noticed the difference. Like he could just be like, no, look, if somebody said, hey, what do you think? He'd be like, look, these are my cigarettes. And he could pull one out that looked just like it. That or he smoked those damn Tipperillos. Oh God, I hated those. I love the smell of a good cigar. I love the smell of a good cigar. Pipe, even better. But Tipperillos, that's just wrong. I don't like them. They just smell icky. Yeah, but he used to smoke that. My grandfather started on Camels, and then he went to Doral. Or oh God, what was the other one? They were like, the Basic. That's what it was called. It was called Basic. And because he was like, I'm not paying all these prices for cigarettes, I'll go down and get the cheap ones. Because he didn't want to pay $1.25 a pack. because that's what they went up to. He was very upset. It went up to $1.25. He was like, the Rouse is still $1. Okay. $1. Y'all, they're $12 a pack now. He would have quit smoking or been like, well, there goes my savings because he would have just rolled his own, knowing my grandfather. That would have been my job. When I say he would have rolled his own, he would have bought the stuff or given me the money. Let's be really accurate. He would have given me the money to go buy all the equipment and whatever, and then had me learn how to do them and had me, like make his cigarettes for him every day. Like it was never, none of them learned skills. If my grandmother had to learn something new, she'd be like, just teach the baby, which was me. Just teach the baby. She'll do it. Oh, we didn't get choices. Did you get choices as to jobs? I didn't get choices. I got told what to do. What was my response? I fucking did it. I didn't say, that's not my job. How much are you going to pay me? Da-da-da-da. Like, I didn't talk back. I mean, I talked back a couple times. Like, well, God, don't strike me dead. I talk back all the time, but not on stuff like that. It never dawned on me to be like, oh, I'm not getting up to answer the phone. Your legs work. Could you imagine if the phone rang and my grandmother said, get the phone? I was like, what's the matter with your legs? I'd be dead. I would be dead or deformed because she'd have killed me. She would have killed me. Nerd, good morning. We used to ride in the back of my dad's truck. Nowadays, you get pulled over for doing that. Oh, yeah. And how many times did your parents like give you your lunch or whatever with the other kids in the back of the truck? Everybody got like a can of soda, which you had to learn to hold like between your knees while you ate, because otherwise it was going to go all over the truck and you get in trouble for making the truck dirty. Or they'd give you, like a sandwich and you're like trying to bite it and all of a sudden you have like ham in your eye and you're trying to, you're chasing this fucking thing. Then you're trying to chew and you're like, They don't care if you choke to death. My mother never cared if I choked to death. She'd be like, what's the matter with you? If I choked on something, my grandmother's instinct was look up, look to God. Why am I looking up? Like, just look to God. God will take care of it. God wants me to choke to death, obviously. So it's just like, it was, there was no like, oh my God, are you okay? There's no patting you on the back. They just looked at you. Look up to God. Look up to God. Okay. All right. Jesus Christ, somebody kill me. Like, the things that they said. Oh my goodness. T-Rex. You're so tired. You're off to bed. All right. Well, do. T-Rex with the super chat that I just lost. There it is. 499 super chat. Just stopping in to say hi. I'm so very tired. Off to bed for me. Well, you have sweet dreams, honey. I don't know how far behind I'm only like 7 minutes behind. Woohoo! Look at me being on top of things. Go ahead. You go to sleep. I know we tried to like meet up last night to, catch up. Oh, it just didn't happen. You tried, then I tried. Just wasn't the right time. Wasn't meant to be. So we'll catch up soon. Don't worry. Nerd, I remember, and thanks for the super chat, honey. Sleep well. I remember a night out bar hopping with friends, a bunch of us laying on our backs in the truck bed, hiding from the cops as we made our way to the next bar. I mean, as long as one of you could drive kind of straight, it wasn't a big deal. Cops never pulled us over for that kind of shit. I didn't do the drunk driving thing because, yes, by the time I got my license, like, mad was a thing. That's one way to, like, I don't know, sift out, like, the people who are not like us. Like, if they don't know what DARE is, if they don't know what P flag stood for, because that was where it started, y'all. The parents for lesbian and gays, whatever. Like, that was the original thing, P flag. Um, if they didn't know, if they didn't know what MAD was, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, like, come on, that was everywhere. They had it on T-shirts, keychains, TV shows, after school specials. They taught you about that shit in school. They did assemblies with the mad mothers who would go there. Nobody said anything. My mother never knew when we had assemblies. You'd have all these like horrible, like depressed mothers who are angry. You're expecting to see like rage, and they're just like, I lost my, and they're telling you horrific stories about children that were in car accidents because of drunk drivers. And oh my goodness. And you're just sitting there going, all right, yeah, all right, could just said drunk driving is bad. Like, I'm just sitting there traumatized. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. Nothing. And did you tell your parents when you went home? No. What happened at school today? Nothing. What'd you learn? I don't know. Well, did you take any tests? Maybe. How'd you do? Good. Oh, that's good. That was the end of that conversation. They were on to the next thing. They didn't give a shit what you did. Nobody called them during the day. It's a good day. Because if they called your house or they called your mother or father at work, oh, like, first of all, you had to like really mess up or be really, really sick. If you were sick, it was all right. Because then they felt bad, but they still would pick you up and be like, you look fine to me. Meanwhile, you're like throwing up in a hat and shit. And they're just like, you could have made it the rest of the day. There was no reason for me to have to leave work. You know, this isn't easy, you know. Why did you have kids again? I can't remember. But if they got a phone call because you were acting out, okay. Like, yeah, you were like, yeah, your friends would be like, it was good knowing you because they were of no help to you. No comfort. They'd be like, oh, they called your mom. Oh, dude, look out the window. Look out the window. Your grandfather's here. Your uncle's here. Your mother's here. It's like, oh, shit. They're like, aw, it was good knowing you. Can I have your whatever the hell they wanted? When you die, can I have your bike? Hey, don't you owe me $5 or whatever? Of no comfort because they knew you were going to die when you got home. They'd be like, all right, well, I'll talk to you in like 3 months when you're not grounded anymore. Okay. My friends knew me though. They were like, how you going to talk your way out of this one? I don't know. I don't. Oh God. I was in high school and I wanted to skip last period. So I was just going to leave. And the teacher I had it in with him where I could skip last period and he didn't give a shit. He just marked me as being there and whatever. I wanted to leave. So I used to just dip out when everybody was like changing classes. I'd have all my stuff and I'd leave. Well, my friend Becky and my friend Monica. Yes, I had friends named Becky and Monica, and they're not as white as you think. One was Cuban and the other was a Hindu. So don't judge a book by its name. They decided they were going to leave too. And I was like, no, it's not a good idea. Because they, you know, one of these things is not like the other. Like, we are not the same. They were raised in very, how do I say this? Affluent, one child only, you're my princess kind of households. It was not. Like, yeah, so they didn't know how to be sneaky. And I'm like, you guys are going to get us caught. Like, just you go your way and just, I'm going to go mine. But we shared a locker on the second floor because it was stupid to have our lockers on different floors and then we try to meet up. No, we shared each one of our lockers on each floor. And all our stuff was on the second floor. This bitch, Becky, decides to wear her coat instead of carrying her coat the way I did, because it makes sense to carry your coat in between classes when you're going to your last class so that you can leave right from your last class. No, she put hers on and she had her car keys in her hand. We go to the locker. We just finish up. I'm like, don't put that on. Don't put it on. I was like, it looks suspicious. I was like, I gotta go. So I'm like trying to like break away, and I hear just a minute there, minute, and principal says my maiden name. Come back here. I was like, oh. Hey, Mr. Tortorella, how you doing? He was like, where you going? And I'm like, I'm looking because he looks to me like somebody who already knows where I'm going. And I'm just like, shit. So I like leaned and I looked around him, and who's in the office behind him crying? Becky and Monica, because he grabbed those bitches because he saw Becky in her coat, and he was like, why are you wearing your coat? Why are your keys in your hand? You still have a class. Shouldn't you be in class like right now? And she was like, oh, I'm on my way. He was like, are you really getting the office? He was like, I'm calling your parents. And she starts crying. And Monica's with her. She starts crying. So then he's like, there's usually like a bunch of you. So he goes into the hallway and sees me like I'm almost all the way down the hallway. You got to figure our thing is like a city block long. So the hallway is really, really long. So he could see me because I was going out the one door that I knew didn't have an alarm. And it also didn't have any teachers nearby, and I could just dip out and walk 2 blocks to my house. So he calls me back, and she's crying. I was like, shit. He goes, I'm calling your mother. You're all suspended. Well, they're hysterical crying. So we're sitting in the main office, and I'm like, these bitches. I'm like, God damn it. Why is he going to call my fucking mother? Jesus fucking Christ. So my mother shows up, and she's like, she just looked at me, and I was like, what? Because I didn't live with her. So it's not like she could say, oh, I know everything she does. She was just like, why am I here? Luckily, she worked in the gas station. So, well, no, at that point, she didn't. She was unemployed. So she had plenty of time. But she shows up and she just gives me this look. And I was like, what? Because at that point, it was like, I was 18. You weren't going to tell me shit. So she comes in. Becky's parents come in. Monica's little Indian mother comes in. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my good. Like, she's so upset. She comes over to me. Who did it? I was like, me. Because I wasn't going to let her frigging. And she was like, I know you're such a good girl, but you're too wild. And I'd be like, this is wild. All right. But I just wanted to go home. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Mrs. Shaw. I'm sorry. I tried it and we got caught. And because I got to pretend it's the first time I've done this. And then you got like little Mr. Cuban father that came in for Becky and everything with the mother because they were always together. And they're like, 4'10" maybe together. And it's just like they come in and they're, oh my goodness, oh, you're going to church and extra Bible study and da-da-da. And she's like, yes, Dad, yes, Dad, yes, Dad. And my mother's just standing there like smiling. And the principal's looking at her, he was like, I don't think this is a laughing matter. She said, you want to tell me what the matter is? I've been here 10 minutes and I don't know why I got called here. She's suspended. She was like, why? She tried to leave school early. Where did you catch her? In the hallway. So she was in school, but she was trying to leave early. Was she by a door? He was like, no. She said, well, where did you catch her? He was like, well, I caught the other 2 and they confessed. And did they confess that my daughter was leaving early? No. Did my daughter say she was leaving early? And he was like, no. She said, so how do you think she was leaving early if she was walking by herself? You said she was walking by herself. Well, she wasn't in class. Okay. Then give her detention. You're not going to suspend her for something that you don't know that she was going to do. And he was like, I'm the principal here. She was like, you're nothing more than the stupid son of a bitch you were when I stood you up for prom. I was like, oh, I was like, no, she didn't. I was like, oh my God, the rest of my year is so fucked. I'm so fucked. I'm so fucked. And he was just like, now, Marion, she was like, that's Mrs. Hasbrook to you. I was like, oh, Christ. I was like, somebody stabbed me. Because I would rather have been grounded. I would rather have been suspended. Now, everybody knew that my mother stood my principal up. That went around the school in about 3 minutes. Everybody was like, your mother stood him up. We've met your mother. And she stood him up. I was like, So then like they made fun of him and like he would hear them and they'd talk about him and he'd like walk into the hallway in dead silence. You know what it's like to have like 200 kids laughing about somebody, they walk into the hallway and then they all just be quiet all at once? It's creepy. It's really creepy. And it was because my mother stood him up for the prom because he was shorter than her. Mind you, the man is like 6'2" now and looks like Satan, but whatever. And not only did he make sure I was still suspended, I had to do in-school suspension. So I couldn't even stay home and like relax for the day. And I had to do detention. And he was like, once you do the suspension, I won't put it on your record because you're college bound. So if I wasn't college bound, it would have went on my record. But because I was, he's doing me the favor of not putting on my record that he unjustly suspended me. Okay. All right. I guess I won't ask my mother for more stories about you then. So we came to an agreement. But I mean, that's the way things went. And when I went home with her and she was just like, what'd you do? I said, I was leaving. I was like, but these idiots don't know how to sneak out of school early. She was like, and you do? I was like, I skipped my whole sophomore year. You never knew. What do you mean you skipped your sophomore? I was like, I never went to school. What are you kidding me? I was like, Nancy and I used to go to Jersey City. We'd go shopping. We'd go to New York, walk around town. We'd go up on the roof and suntan. I was like, I never went to school. She's like, it didn't say that on your report card. Sure did. No, it didn't. You didn't have absence. Yeah, I did. There's no way. Oh, no, I just swiped another report card and I just forged it and made it look like my original one and changed the days absent. But they never called me. Sure they did. They never called. This is Michelle's mother. Like, I mean, I used to answer the phone as my mother, or I'd make Vicky do it, or I'd make Nancy do it. But I mean, we knew how to fuck around. Like, and the school didn't care. If they called your house and nobody answered, they didn't call back. They didn't give a fuck. They were just like, all right, absent. Like, whatever. I could have been absent for like a month. They wouldn't have friggin' like called my mother more than once a day. And she never answered the phone anyway. I always answered the phone. So what was the point? Wow, I squirreled a lot. Anyway. Sleep well, T-Rex. Check your Discord. Thank you for supporting the channel. Yes, thank you for your super chat. Grandfather had a statue of St. Christopher on the dashboard. Oh, we all did. Did you have that beige one? That ugly ass, like cream colored one? We had one, and we went from the cream colored. Well, we started out with the like, silverish kind of bronze one, but then it was too heavy. And the mounting tape wouldn't keep it on the thing because in the sun it would dry up. But the plastic one, the cream color plastic one, stayed up just fine. So they switched them out. Because that thing was like a projectile weapon. Sometimes they'd hit the brake and it would come flying into the back seat and hit me. Gunners Bub, what's up, honey? Yeah, but this town is way too small. I couldn't get away with shit. Nobody can. My neighbor, who was like a grandfather to me, used to smoke a pipe, and the smell of tobacco still reminds me of him. Yeah. I mean, most of my teachers up until high school, once we were in high school, they weren't allowed to smoke anymore in the building. Well, no, I'm sorry, not in the building. In the classroom, they weren't allowed to smoke. But in grammar school, my kindergarten teacher had the ashtray on her desk. You know, those big, like square crystal, those heavy glass ones. And throughout the classroom and in the hallways, we had the standing ones. The ones that they were metal stands, and then they had the glass insert, like you could slip the glass in. It had a weird handle on top. It was like brown glass with like the gold kind of metal to hold it and everything. Those were all over the school. Oh my God, those nuns, talk about when you don't get to have sex, they smoked like chimneys. My kindergarten teacher, Sister Catherine, she had a coffee urn, you know, the kind that they have at parties, the big ones, in the corner. All she did all day was drink black coffee. She drank black coffee and she smoked nonstop. And she smoked Camel unfiltered. Like, that's what she smoked all day long. All day. I never saw her eat anything. I never saw her take a drink of water. Nothing. And I don't remember her ever having to go to the bathroom. So where'd it go? Where'd it go? We didn't have a bathroom in our classroom. And she never left. She was always right there. If she really couldn't stand us, she would take out the little record player and Shirley Temple went on. She'd go ahead, go play. That was it. 4 hours of just, I'm the good chip lollipop. Like, and we just play with crayons or play with dolls or whatever. We'd get into fights and she'd, don't make me come over there. Okay. Settle that shit down real quick. You just pinch each other like covertly. Shh, she'll hear you. Like, that was the thing. We hurt each other all the time, but it was like, don't let the adults know that you're fighting, because that's when you really get in trouble. But yeah, no, oh dear God, they used to smoke everywhere. One of the earliest memories was going to the part where my dad was working as a welder, sitting on the tailgate as a wielder or welder. I'm hoping it's welder, sitting on the tailgate with him and my mom eating lunch. Yeah, I mean, that was a big deal when you would go to your parents' job. We didn't really stop by. Like, I'd go out in the gas station and I'd go to bring my grandfather something. And once in a while, I could catch Daddy in the office sitting in the same chair with his legs crossed the same. So it was like ankle over knee. And like, he had the man spread going on. And he'd have like his sandwich on one leg and he'd have the Coca-Cola or whatever he was drinking in the other. And he'd just sit there. What are you doing here? What's going on? You all right? All right, what do you want? Yeah, go ahead. He's over there. And it'd be like, all right. There was no like, hey, Dad, can I sit with you? Or what? No, because he had 10 minutes to eat. He didn't take an hour lunch. Your lunch was as long as it took you to eat that sandwich. That was it. And he had his crimpet because my mother always gave him a butterscotch crimpet. I think it was a Drake cake. I think Drake used to make them. I can't remember. But they were called crimpets. Not crumpets, crimpets. And butterscotch was his favorite. To this day, I can't hear that and not think of him instantly. Shelly, do you remember McGruff, the crime dog? I mean, he came out a little later than the other ones, but yeah. We had McGruff, the crime dog. You had the crying Indian who didn't want you to litter. You had Smokey the Bear. Only you can prevent forest fires. Who else did we have? I don't know. We had really depressing like commercials on TV. I used to hate the Indian commercial. The Native American. We called them Indians. That's what they were called. So you would have like this poor guy with like one wilted feather like in his hair, and he'd have the long hair and he'd be standing there and it's all gray looking all around, and you see tons of land with like litter and trees on fire, and like it was just ugly. It was like very dystopian. And they'd pan to him and you just see the tears coming down. And it's just like, oh. And the first time I saw it, I was so affected. After that, I was like, why does he cry? Why doesn't he just clean it up? Like, I didn't do it. Why do I have to see him? I was irritated that he was on. I hated that guy. I really did. Hated him. And every time we went somewhere in Pennsylvania, there was a wooden Indian outside the store, the gas station store, whatever. They were everywhere. These life-size wooden Indians. And I'd go past them and go, who's crying now? Like, why don't you cry? Why didn't they make him cry? Why don't they paint his face so he's crying? Because every time I thought of an Indian, I thought of the dude that was crying. There was nothing else out there. It was that or like, Custer's Last Stand. Like, that was it. But yeah, those were our freaking, role models. Here, kids, listen to this. Lies. Hi, honey. You're 10 minutes behind. Me too. Yeah, calling my dad at work was a big no-no when I was growing up. Yeah, calling anybody at work. No. I would literally like negotiate with the secretary. Be like, no, don't call my mother. Don't call my mother. Well, why? Because she's at work. She's not going to come get me. And she's not even going to answer the phone. Like, please don't call my grandmother. Can you call my grandfather? Can you call grandpa? Like, call the gas station? Why? Because he won't yell that I'm sick when grandma, she'll go through her list because that's what she would do. If she called my grandmother, the questions started. Hey, Kay, because, or hey, Kate, depending on who was talking to her. Hey, Kate, Michelle's here. She doesn't feel very good. Yeah, no, I already tried that. No, she doesn't have to go to the bathroom. No, she didn't throw up. She doesn't have a fever. No, I don't think. Did you eat? Oh, your grandmother said you should have ate breakfast this morning. I told you should have ate breakfast this morning. Yeah, you really should have. You should listen to your grandmother. And you're just sitting there like, I'm going to throw up on you. Like, I'm literally going to throw up on you. I just want to go home. Like, I don't feel good. I'm sweating. I'm dizzy. Like, I just want to go home. I just want to go to sleep. And my grandmother would do the inevitable. It was the deciding question. And I'd hear the secretary go, yeah, let me ask her. Your grandmother said if you come home, she wants you to take Mylanta and go right to bed. And if I said, okay, then I was sick. If I said, oh, I don't like Mylanta, she knew that I was not sick enough to take the Mylanta and go to bed. So I wasn't coming home. Go the fuck back to class. Like that was the decision maker right there. Because Mylanta didn't have flavors. Y'all know what Mylanta I'm talking about too. It was like the Mylanta, like it looked like Kaopecta. It was just pure chalk. It was liquid chalk. It tasted like it. You tasted it forever. It took days to get that coating off of your tongue and teeth. It was disgusting. And if you were willing to take that, you were sick. You were sick. Because that was torture. But, oh yeah, no, it was, no, can you just call my grandfather? He'll just come get me. He'd be like, what's the matter? She don't figure, all right. And then he'd bring me home and my grandma would say, Hank, what do you do? What the hell is she doing here? Why aren't you in school? I didn't feel good. Why didn't you call me? Because you knew I'd know you would just. All right, you want to be funny? You want to be home? Here, go do this, go do that, go do that, go to the store. But I don't feel good. Doesn't matter. You'll be fine. You'll walk it off. Walk it off. Sweat it out. That was always her answer. Here, go do this. You'll sweat it out. Thanks, Graham. Thanks. Thanks for that motherly love. No coddling. No coddling. The day that I put the knitting needles through my thumbs, yes, she freaked out because I had knitting needles sticking out of my thumbs. But when she took them out and they started blowing, all she did was wrap them. She put a little like iodine on it, which I think that fucking shit hurts. It wasn't iodine, it was mercurochrome. So she, and I know that's poisonous, but whatever. Explains a lot, doesn't it? She put it on. And she just wrapped them with a little bit of paper towel. And then she took a Band-Aid and wrapped the Band-Aid super tight on each one. And she was like, all right, did you get blood on anything inside? Because she knew that I did it in the living room. She was like, is there blood in my parlor? Did you bleed on my furniture? You better not. What does it matter if I bleed on your furniture? It's all covered in fucking plastic. Wipe it down. Like, just, you could hose my furniture off. Like, it didn't matter. Did you bleed on the carpet? It's a friggin' brown and red and green and yellow shag carpet. Do you think somebody's going to see it? No. Like, I literally could bleed out on the carpet and they would never find the stain. It could be half the room covered in blood. You wouldn't know the difference. Because even if it showed on the rug, the lights were so fucking dim with her, like, what were they, 35 watt bulb? Except for that one lamp that had the 3-way bulb that you could click it brighter, 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 except it would always blow out on the last one. So you can go brighter, brighter, off, off. That was fun. Those were always fun. Turn the light. Why do you have the light on so bright? Turn it down. I pay for electric. Like, electric has anything. Like, oh. It was like, whatever. Shut the door. You're letting all the bought air in. Do I pay to heat the neighborhood? Shut the door. Were you born in a barn? No, I was born here. Exactly. Shut the door. Who Who raised you? Were you raised by wolves? Maybe. I know somebody here that was. Lady Awesome. Shelly, we are so much alike. I skipped my entire 10th grade year. Sophomore year, that's the whole thing. Sophomore, you branch out, man. Like, that was the best year. Crimpets, I never heard of that. What is it? It's a spongy kind of cake with a really thick, super sweet icing on top. And they kind of look like these wavy things. They're cutting like almost like a crinkled potato kind of thing. Look them up. You caught up? Yay, I didn't. I'm way behind. Oh no, less than 10 minutes. Look at me. Elephant. Hi, honey. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions? I was like, I had a lot of questions and nobody to ask because nobody ever wanted a cop to doing drugs in my family. According to my family, they didn't drink, they didn't do drugs, they didn't do anything. Nothing. They had no vices. They were just amazing Catholics who just, that's all they were. They did everything they were supposed to. They never got drunk. No addictions. These people with addictions, oh my God, they're weak. Meanwhile, they're chain smoking, eating all the kind of shit they shouldn't be eating. Like I said, my mother went through a whole fucking cheesecake in her sleep. In her sleep. Yeah, but you guys got no addictions. You drink like fish. You start drinking at like noon. They never got drunk. They just drank all day. It's like, you think that's better? Is it better? Either they went like months and months without like one drop of alcohol, or it was like summer months were the worst because they would start drinking like every weekend at like 12 o'clock on a Saturday, and then just the whole just beer, wine. They didn't do like the vodka and rum or whatever. My grandmother used to take a shot of whiskey or a shot of rum or a shot of brandy before bed every night if her teeth hurt. And my grandfather went to grab the bottle because we had company and they were going to make, Irish coffee. So he grabs the whiskey out of the thing and all you hear is, Jesus Christ, this was a brand new bottle. There's hardly anything left. Who's been drinking it? And he looked at me. I was like, not me. I was like, no. I hated drinking that stuff when I had a toothache. My grandma would be like, gargle with it. Okay. Swish it around your mouth. Yeah, let's just burn off the inner layers of my mouth at 8. Like, and he's like, Kate, you drank all this. She was like, shut up. That wasn't me. Well, it wasn't the baby and it wasn't me. You're the only other person that lives here. She's like, you had to call me out in front of everybody and embarrass me. It was from my toothache. He was like, how many teeth hurt? Like, it was funny. How many teeth hurt? Oh, she'd smack the shit out of him too. You son of a bitch bastard. You don't treat me right. And then everybody would laugh and she'd be all upset. And I'd just be like, I just want to go to bed. I just want to go to bed. Can I go to bed? No, not yet. We have company. That was the thing. Every night you had to go to bed at like a certain time. But if you had company, those rules went out the window. You were having cake at night and you got to sit there and I would have my hot tea because, I liked having tea. I didn't like just milk. So my grandmother would make my tea and we'd sit and we'd have cake and I'd just sit there because I didn't get a chair like everybody else. I got a stool because, we're low on chairs. Adults get chairs. Kids can sit where the fuck ever. And she would put the stool right next to her. I don't remember a time in my childhood where I wasn't right next to my grandmother. I was always to her left. Why? Because she hit with the right. And it's hard to get you on the left. It's hard to get you with the right hand unless you're on the left because she could grab me with that hand and swing with the other. And I'd get it right in the head. You'd inevitably hear my grandfather say, don't hit her in the head. You're going to make her retarded. Always hit me in the head. Always. She always hit me in the head. It never failed. I always got hit in the head. I got hit in the mouth. How I have front teeth, I don't understand. But I always got hit in the mouth. I think that's why I have like the pouty lips that I have because I think she just broke them so many goddamn times. Like she never caused them to bleed, but they would always swell up. I think they just said, fuck it, we're just gonna stay that way. But yeah, no, she could swing. Oof. And also on the left, if I was really bad and she back smacked me with the left hand, I got the wedding ring. Right to the teeth. So she kept me right next to her no matter where we were. I was like, she literally like would pull me into the side of her. If the stool was there, the stool had to be touching her chair and I had to be like right there because I needed to be controlled like instantaneously. And usually just put me next to her, kept my mouth shut. But if you had company, you didn't go to bed till they left. You could literally be falling asleep in that chair. They'd be like, we got company, sit up straight. Okay, here's more sugar. Okay. And they wouldn't leave till like 1 o'clock in the morning because they drove all the way there. So everybody's up kibitzing. Bye. You remember when? And I'm like, it's half Italian, half English. Horrible. My grandmother would be in the middle of a story and she'd be like, scusate, è tutta una vol, but the boat, the boat, you know, the thing with the boat with the anchor. What do you call an anchor? Oh, never mind. And she'd go back into Italian and keep going. With the waffle. How do you say waffle? The waffle, you know, with the squares, with the it's like a pizza. But it's thicker. Okay. You know what it's like sitting there trying to follow those conversations because they're using words that they don't understand. And you're like, that's not it. But you can't say anything because you're a kid. So shut the fuck up. The adults are talking. There was no, hey, I have a story. No. If I even like coughed, every head would go my way. I'm just like, sorry. What? I'd just shrink back. Yeah, it was funny. Lady Awesome. Ellie Font, those commercials are why I never did drugs while in school. I was like, shit, I could barely piss now. I don't need to kill more brain cells. I didn't understand those. I was just like, I know kids on drugs. They're not like that. Like, they were fun. I didn't do drugs like that early on when those came out, but it was like, I didn't know anybody who did hard drugs. Like, I know a lot of people who smoke pot. I heard say you smoke dope. They're smoking dope. It was, oh my God, he's on dope. It smells like dope. It's like, okay. So what did they call them? That those people inevitably got called dopey. Dopey, come here. You acting dopey. Great. That's great. Hey, Suzanne, how are you? How are you? Crimpets sound good. They were good. They're a little, I know what a crumpet, they were like the name of the cake was a crimpet. I know. And I think it's with a K. Believe it or not with the C. Oh, a backhand from my mama would bust your mouth open. Yeah. No, grandma had those ninja skills. You got hit and you didn't even, you were like, why is my mouth hurt? She's on the other side of the goddamn room. And you're just like, how the fuck, man? How did she do? What did I say? What did I say? It wasn't what you said. It was the way you said it. It's like, really? Okay. All right. Thanks, Graham. Appreciate it. One of my favorites was, that's your answer? Oh, all right. You sure that's your answer? You don't want to live to see your next birthday, do you? I mean, what? Or that was one thing. My grandfather, you want to live to see tomorrow? You want a knuckle sandwich? I will beat the stupid out of you. Like, these were things they said affectionately. Like, this was the warning shot. It was the warning shot across the bow when they'd look at you and go, yeah? That yeah said everything to me. I was like, no. Like, whatever you're thinking I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way. I will try again. And you corrected yourself real quick. real quick. That yeah from my uncle. Yeah. It was that little influx, like that little hook at the end that you were like, shit. He could be like, yeah, 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 yeah. Like as soon as that questioning heightened ending, you were like, fuck. God damn it. No, no, no. It was time to backpedal like your life depended on it. Cause it did. That's why when I say, what'd you say? I heard you. I'm giving you the opportunity to change what the fuck you said, or it's on. Like, what'd you say to me? What'd you say? I don't think I heard you right. What'd you say? Like, because that's what I grew up hearing. Oh, don't you dare cry. Like they do something to you. You'd get upset. Don't you dare cry, or I swear to God, I'll give you something to cry about. Dude, you already did. What else? Go do that thing or else. They never gave you the or else. Once I said to my grandmother, or else what? And the look she gave me, I was like, you know what? Never mind. I don't want to know. I don't. Nope. Fear, y'all. Fear. We had fear of our parents. We had fear of consequences because they were coming. Oh, yes, they were. Whether you wanted them to or not, they were coming. You could try to talk your way out. You could try to run away from it. Didn't matter. They would take you out at the knees and be like, see, you shouldn't have done what you did. Unapologetic. There was no remorse at all from them. You'd be sitting there. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. You shouldn't have made me lose my temper. Now go to your room and think about what you did. I don't want to see you till dinner. Okay. It could be 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't want to see you till dinner. Okay. And don't make any noise. And then you had to go in your room and do everything silently. God forbid you read something that was like funny or whatever. Sounds like you're having fun in there. Do I have to come in there? No. My answer to everything. Michelle, what are you doing? Nothing. What was that noise? I don't know. I heard a noise. I didn't hear a noise. What was it? Nothing. If you didn't hear a noise, how do you know it's nothing? Because I didn't hear anything. Do I have to come in there? No. Then tell me what happened. Nothing. Is anything broken? No. All right. Why are you putting your shoes on? Because I'm going outside. Where are you going? Out. Out with who? My friends. Well, when are you coming back? I'll be home by dinner. You're sure? Yes. Don't make me cook a whole meal and then you're not going to show up because I'll give it to the dog. I'll throw it in the garbage or I'll give it to the dog. All right, whatever. Make sure you're home by dinner. All right. Come home for dinner. All right. What are you doing after dinner? I'm going back out. Go ahead. Go out. Nobody asked me, Grandma, do you need anything? Do you want me to do you never volunteer to do the dishes. You don't even clean the table. You don't like the way I clean the table. You don't like the way I do dishes. I start doing dishes. You come over and literally push me out of the way. Get out of here. Stop touching things. You don't do things the way I do them. All right. So then I don't do dishes. Like, well, maybe you ever want to spend time with me. Why? Well, you can't stay home and spend time with me. What do you want to do tonight? You want to play cards? You want to what do you want to do? No, I got to finish the layette for such and such at the bank. You know, she said, I don't want to have this conversation. I don't care who's pregnant at the bank. I don't care what you're making. I want to go out. Can't say that though. You got to sit there and go, Oh. Oh, that's nice of you. Yeah. Okay. Are you done yet? Because I want to go out. Like they're waiting for me. Your friends are everything to you. You mark my words, Michelle. Your friends won't be there for you forever. You're better to your friends than you are to your own family. Okay. Can I go now? Can I go? Or you don't talk to your friends the way you talk to me. You're so sweet for your friends, but for me, you're just a bitch. And it was Okay. Okay. Even if I wasn't, it didn't matter. I was guilty as charged. Guilty as charged. I saw Judge Maddie. Hey, Judge Maddie, how you doing? I think I might have said hello already, but you know what? Whatever. You deserve a second hello. Look at that. You warrant 2 hellos. Suzanne said, Yepers, I know that line. You best stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Yep. Yep. Every time. Wolfgang, they make crimpets with cream or jelly filling now. I like jelly filling. I do. That throws off the cake to icing ratio, right? Because they don't really need. I don't eat those because they're so goddamn sweet. Like I was talking to my mother one day and I was like, I can't believe Daddy died at like 34. I said, but if I think about like the things he ate, he had such a sweet tooth. Like he would have been diabetic by the time he was 40. There's no fucking way. Like, he would have been completely diabetic if he ever went to the doctors, because none of us did. Did y'all have yearly physicals? I had them as long as school required them. And once I hit like that last immunization, she didn't take me to the doctor every year. You went to the doctor when you were sick and you had to be dying. If grandma couldn't cure it and the pharmacist didn't know how to take care of it, then you went to the doctor. Otherwise, you didn't go. I went years without any health insurance, like 10 years, no health insurance because I never went to the doctor. If I needed the doctor, grandma just paid cash. Here you go. Or my grandfather would fix their car for free. Like, that's it. It was very trade oriented. Like, oh yeah, come to the house and see to the baby and bring your car in next week and I'll do a tune up and I'll rotate the tires and winter's coming up. So I'll check, make sure that they're, like, you want me to put, that was the thing. You want me to put chains on your tires? That was one of my damn jobs, putting the chains on tires. I hated that job. Hated it. Because there's nothing grosser than tires. Like, they literally are covered in everything. People don't think it, but yeah, they're covered in everything. And I'm used to getting my hands dirty, so that doesn't really bother me. But when you're doing like 10 cars a day, 4 fucking tires on every car, it's a lot. True. What's up, baby? But yeah, we had snow tires. That was a thing. We had chains for the tires. That was a thing. People have no idea now. They're like, oh, you put chains, like you only put chains on truck tires. No. No. They go on all sorts of tires. Oh God. I haven't seen chains on tires in probably 35, about 35, 40 years. I mean, I was young. I was like 10 or 11 the last time I put chains on tires. But I mean, that was the thing. Like we had multiple sets of tires. You had your regular tires and then you had your snow tires. And you didn't drive around in the summer with snow tires because why would you waste that money? Like, why would you do that? You're going to ruin them. Like, they don't stand up to the heat. They're for snow. I don't know anybody who has 2 sets of tires anymore. I really don't. And I'm thinking, like, where the hell did we keep them? But I mean, I had a gas station, so that's where we kept them. But where do other people keep them? Did they have them in the basement? Or, like, did they put them out in, like, the corner of the garage? And nobody has them anymore. It's weird. Did they just improve the design of tires that you had all weather tires? I guess they do, right? All purpose tires? I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me. But then again, I come from a land of a lot of snow. So my mom has every finger with rings, often 2 or 3 on each finger with bracelets. While she was driving, she'd hit us with the open backhand. Then she would slap in short bursts so the bangle bracelet would hit you too. Yep. Because if they did it real quick, the ricochet, the bracelets would like get forced toward the hand And then when they caught you with that second hit, the first one was all flesh and maybe a ring or two. And then the second one, they had the line of rings, which were never flat, by the way. They always had like a stone or like some weird design that fucking hurt. And then the bangles would go forward. And so they would hit you with the metal or the glass or whatever the fuck they were. Yeah, no, my mother was good for that. She was good for that. My mother liked to do something because she didn't like to be seen smacking me. So she did this thing where she would hold my hand and she would grind my knuckles together. And I'd she would shut up. Don't you dare even make a face. And it's like, so people are like, oh my God, you have such a high tolerance for pain. Yeah, I wonder why. Oh, I just pierced her nipple and she didn't even like flinch. No, I didn't notice. You know why? Because I was tortured as a child. And you had to take it and hide it. Oh, you feel pain? Better swallow that shit. You don't even, I don't even want to see your face change expression. And then if you did make a face, I hope your face freezes like that. They were just mean, y'all. Like everything they thought, they said. There was, you want to talk about unfiltered. We grew up with unfiltered fucking parents. Like when they were there, which they weren't a whole lot, they would say whatever the hell they wanted. Yeah, if you put on something, you were all like decked out in your clothes and it's like a new trend and you think you look like super cool. They're like, is the circus in town? Is it Halloween? Where's the calendar? Marion, is it time? It's like, thanks. You look like a clown. Where are you going like that? What's that on your face? You got dirt on your face? Oh, that's makeup. You put it on in the dark? Like, and you looked fine, but they just had to make all the comments. All the comments. But yeah, my mother, to this day, she still wears all the rings. She's got the one that hurt the most. I'm retarded, but the one that hurt the worst. I changed the word anyway. So stupid. Was ironic because it was the mother's ring. That's the one with the birthstone for her and my dad and for me. And yeah, they were individual stones. And because she didn't have a lot of kids, she only had 3 stones on the ring. They were spaced apart, which meant she had these 3 projectile kind of, really, really, really hurtful hooked bits of metal on her ring. Next to it, she had the cross. Next to that, she had the rose ring. I don't know what. She hated roses. Still hates roses. She had a rose ring. That sucker was made of glass. You remember these rings? They used to make them like brooches and stuff like that, or earrings. But there was the ring that went on like the pointer finger. And it was like ceramic glass that was set into metal. And they hurt. And they were big. They stuck out probably about 1/4 to 1/2 inch from her fucking hand, from her finger. And they were individual petals and they all came to a point. That fucker hurt so much, but it didn't hurt near as much as the mother's ring. Because you got like the first like hit with the rose ring. Then Jesus came along and stabbed you like either in the lip or the chin, but then like the upper lip or the nose got the mother's ring with the force of the punch. And you just, God damn it. Like, yeah, and that was just the backhand. And that was light. If she really wanted to hurt you, trust me, they didn't need rings. But my dad would ask if I wanted to cut ass or my ears boxed. I didn't get ass. I just got smacked. And then they'd be like, you're lucky that you don't get hit. Who don't get hit? Like, I don't get hit with a belt, but I get the spoon. I get the fucking shoe. The shoe with the shoe. I get the backhand. I get the open hand to the back of my head, which great for a child developing. But I didn't get hit with a belt. We don't use the belt. No, but my mother broke a hairbrush over my head. because she was like ripping through my hair. My hair was long and it was knotted because she didn't comb it when it was wet. She waited till it dried. And of course, I'm Italian. My hair was curly and whoop, and that was it, tangles. So, and she's pulling, I'm going, ow, ow, ow. And she got so mad, she literally just took the big handled brush, the wooden ones. They're super thick. They have like the boar bristles. And she hit me so hard. And all I heard was crack. And I knew it wasn't my head because I have a really hard head. Because my cousin Mikey used to slam my head into the wall when I was a baby. And nobody stopped him because it was like, oh, don't worry, she'll develop a hard head. Okay. Okay. He did it to me so much that I bit him. And I mean, I literally bit him like in the middle of his chest. And I was hanging from it. And he's crying. He's bleeding. And my mother, instead of saying what happened, picked me up, pried me off of him because I wasn't letting go, and bit me just as hard. And she's like, you'll never bite anybody again. And I remember her saying that. I was little. Like, I'm talking like a year and a half, 2 years old. Like, these are my first teeth. And I was like killing this kid. And I remember her biting me. I remember that. She bit my hand. She bit the back of my hand so bad she made it bleed. And she was like, you'll never bite anybody else again? Yeah, right. I just learned to let go before I got caught. They'd be like, did you bite him? No, it was the dog. Nope, it was the dog. And the dog be sitting there going like, yep, it was me. It was me. But my cousin was just like, no, don't hurt her. He was like, I was doing it to her first. And I mean, he knew. He was just banging my head into the wall. Bung, bung, bung. It was a game for him. Bung, bung. Not the back of my head either. Like the front of my head, like my forehead. He would just, because I was a lot smaller than he was. I was younger than he was. And so he would just ding, 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 ding. He actually apologized to me when we were in our 20s. He was like, I am so sorry that I used to torture you. I was like, I know you didn't mean it. You were frustrated. He was like, no, I hated you. He was like, I hated that you existed. I was the baby till you came along. I fucking hated you. I was like, thanks, Mike. He was like, no, I love you now. He was like, and I did love you then. He was like, but I wanted you to just die and go away. I was like, great, thanks. He was like, wow, we grew up kind of fucked up, Shell. I was like, yeah, I know. He was like, I used to, oh my God, I used to like bang your head into the wall. Mm-hmm. You remember that? Surprisingly, yes. I remember that. You know what I also remember, you bastard? I'm a he, she's a she, but you're an it. He always used to say that. I'm a he and you're an it. I'm a he and you're an it. It bothered me so much. I really do think that's why the whole transposing thing gets on my nerves so fucking much. Because I fought that shit my whole childhood. He used to say it just to aggravate me. Just to aggravate me. And if my father would turn around and be like, what are you two arguing about? Nothing. Nothing at all. Because you didn't want them involved. Oh no. One time I said, he called me an it. We both got hit. I got hit for being like a wimp, as he called me. And he got hit for making me cry. Even though my father made me cry too. So it was just like, but we both got hit. Him for making me cry and me for being a wimp and crying. It's like, all right. Castro, beat your kids once a day if you don't know why. They do. Oh yeah. I listen, I never got hit out of nowhere and said, what was that for? I just like, ow, because I knew I did something and they fucking found out. But we didn't discuss it. That was a waste of time. You did something, you got hit for it, and move on. But I mean, my grandmother was the queen of the swipe. You ever have those parents? They're just walking past you, all of a sudden, right in the fucking head. Like, ow. You never said, what the hell was that for? You're just like, ow, it hurt. What? That's how they knew you did something that they didn't know about, too. I figured that out later. You got hit when they were just suspicious that you did something wrong. That's all they had to do was just think you did something. And if you got hit and you didn't say, oh my God, I didn't do anything. What was that for? Then you were innocent, but it's all right because you were going to do something in the future. They'd let something slide. But most of the time you'd be like, oh, if you didn't say anything, they'd be like, yeah, I knew they did something, little bastard. Oh, well. And then they just move on because they didn't want to know. You can't unknow it. Those parents were very much is it going to come back to bite me in the ass? No, then I don't want to know about it. I don't want to hear about it. I got other things to do. Leave me alone. How many parents said, I don't have time for you? I'm busy. Go away. Go play. Go do something. Go play in traffic. Go take a long walk on a short beer. Go do that. Go do whatever. It was always go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. Why are you always in here by yourself? Because you told me to go away. You literally told me to leave you alone. Can't even have a conversation with you. Because I don't know how to have a conversation. I spent the first 14 years of my life by myself. It was like, that's why we fight with everybody. That's why we're like, I don't give a fuck. Oh, you don't want to talk to me? Oh, I never went long without talking to anybody else ever in my life. Yeah, right. Like, I basically spent my entire childhood just entertaining myself. You think I fucking need you? No. And that's why we say the shit that we say. We're like, oh, you don't want to talk to me? Oh, wait, let me go cry. You don't care. They're like, won't you miss me? I don't know, maybe. Let's try and find out. Won't know till we do it. We're good at that, right? The bravado. You'd miss me if I was that. Well, since you're not, we don't know. But, try it. We'll find out. I'll leave. There's the door. None of us like ultimatums. You know why we don't like it? 1, don't tell us what to do. 2, I lived just fine before you. I could live just fine after you. I know how to take care of myself. What are you going to do? Because we're used to taking care of ourselves and everybody else. Right? Because you got to jump to it. That's why these kids, like our kids, a lot of them don't know how to do shit. Because 1, I don't have time to waste with you doing it wrong. That's number 1. My way is the best way. Why is my way the best way? Because I've been mastering this my entire life. Because I started at the age of 5. You didn't learn how to cook at 5. No, I learned how to cook at 3. Okay. You didn't even know how to shit in a toilet bowl at 3. But I was making full fucking meals for myself at 3 years old. Going to the grocery store at 5. Buying cigarettes for my entire family at 5. Here's the money. Go and tell them that you want cigarettes from mommy and grandpa and Aunt Lee or whatever. And the guy at the store always knew exactly what they wanted. And he just put them in a bag. Or not in a bag. Many times I walked home with the pack of cigarettes right in my hand. Nobody said shit. Did I open them? No. My mother left lit cigarettes all over the fucking house. She just light them, put them in the ashtray and walk away. One time when I think it was 7 or 8, I went over and she was downstairs doing laundry. The cigarette was on the kitchen table. And I was like, I wonder. Bro, I threw up so bad. First of all, I thought I was going to die. All I did was say one drag. But when you try your first cigarette, you don't know how to puff on it. You do what you think they're doing. You suck on it. And you're just like, and you suck that air in deep. And oh, good God. You want to talk about tiny little lungs full of smoke for the first time? I couldn't stop coughing. I was nauseous instantly. And within about 15 seconds, I threw up, which meant I had to be dizzy from this because now I have no oxygen because I've never encountered this. I have to run to the bathroom, hope to God nobody's in there, and make sure that I throw up in the toilet, not in the sink, which is always closer to the door, and that she doesn't hear me. Yeah. And I was like, I'm never touching a cigarette again. Yeah, right. At 15, that was it. I took my first real cigarette and I never stopped. Never stopped. They were $1.05 when I started smoking. $1.05 for a pack, and you could buy Lucy's. Mm-hmm. Lucy's were loose cigarettes. You just walk in and be like, I need 2 Lucy's. You didn't ask what kind. All you said was regular or menthol. That's it. And when you start out, you don't smoke menthol. You smoke regular, and then you work your way up. Oh, God. And of course, it was the 80s and 90s. So I had that giant purse. You know, we all had the big leather purses that like had the metal closures going across the top. Like they had metal bars. So you would and they had a flap over them. So you undo the flap and this whole thing just pops open. It's like the Mary Poppins bag. You had hairspray in there. You had all your makeup in there, your cigarettes, a lighter, a camera. Because we all had like remember not the disposable ones, that Le Click or whatever. It was like a little square. Always had that in there. Inevitably, there was some type of like disc of negatives that was in there that I either got developed and forgot to like put away or whatever. You had perfume, always Baby Soft. I always smelled like Baby Soft perfume when I was younger. And then I moved on to like that Vanilla Musk because expensive perfume and me don't get along. I have a low body temperature, but my skin runs hot. So if I put expensive perfume on me, the way it reacts with my skin, it smells like Raid, no matter what it is. So I don't do that. I do Vanilla Musk, and I smell like cookies. Like some people say like, oh my God, you smell like a vanilla flower, or you smell like cherry blossoms, or you smell like cookies, or you just smell so good. I smell delicious. Like that's the point. I'm not supposed to smell like, I keep the roaches away. Like, no. So no, I smell sweet. Women should smell sweet. I don't like flowery scents. I just don't. Cherry blossoms are different. They're a different kind of sweetness. But yeah, I don't like smelling like roses and like lily. No, thank you. Lavender. I hate the smell of lavender. It doesn't calm me at all. It aggravates me. Anyway, back to chat. I remember snow tires, but I don't remember switching them or where we kept them. Right? This is information it's in your brain. And you just don't access it because you never really you did it. You have no memory of it. Isn't that weird? We have 2 sets of tires for each rig. They're in the garage. My hubs takes them off and on every spring and winter. See? My people. I can relate to that. That sounds normal to me. People that have these all-weather tires and they're like, oh, when was the last time I changed tires? I don't know, like years. Years? Really? Well, I mean, you have 2 sets, right? No, I just have the one. Open your trunk. This is something that tells me so much about people. Where's your spare tire? And I'm not talking about the one that you wear. I'm talking about the one for your car. Like, oh, I think it's in the trunk. You think it's in? Can we look? Can we look? What? Do you know how to reach? I love it. People don't even know where their spare tire is. I had a friend of mine. We got a flat. She pulled over. I was like, all right, I'll change the tire. She was like, you know how to do that? Bitch, really? I was like, all right, pop the trunk. I don't have a spare tire in the trunk. Yeah, you do. No. My trunk is empty. Like I have like my stuff in there, but there's no tire. I never had a tire in my trunk. You never had a tire in the trunk. Open the trunk. I got to get the jack. There's no jack back there. Yes, there is. No, yes, there is. I'm telling you, Michelle, you can open the trunk. Open the trunk. Look, there's no tire. Bitch, take all the shit out of the trunk, which I fucking hate. I was that person, y'all. I had the bins, like the separator in my trunk so that nothing rolled around. And if I had to get to the spare tire, I could just take the one thing out and there we go. And she's like, I don't know why you're taking everything out. You can see there's no tire. And then I pulled the panel up. She was like, oh my God, what are you doing? Why are you pulling the rug up? To get to the tire. It's not in it. Oh my God, there's been what's that thing? Why do they have that start thing? That's the jack. What do you mean? And I'm like, just shut up. Just stop talking. Because I'm at this point, I just want to walk home. Like, I'm going to leave you here with this bullshit. She had no idea she had a jack. She had no idea what the lug nut wrench did. She was like, why do you need a special thing? Because they're lug nuts. You can't use a wrench. Do you have a wrench? No. Then why are you asking? Shut up. Had no idea that that's where the spare tire was. And it was a used car. So she didn't check it. It wasn't a spare tire. It was a donut. And it was a shitty donut at that. And I was like, all right, like I changed it. And I was like, you really like, I put everything back. And I was like, you got to go home slow. Why? It's a tire. No, it's a donut. And it's not really like, you know, it's old. Like you didn't maintain. There was water like in the wheel well and everything else. And I'm just like, this is gross. Like I can't. And she was like, no. So what happened? She busted the donut on the way home. And I was like, you know what? Call AAA. And I went home. I walked home. I was like, fuck it. I don't care. I'm not doing it again. Because I had nothing to change the tire to. I was like, I can't help you. Tell them that your donut and your, tire are both shot. Because she wouldn't listen. I was like, you're going to blow it out on a fucking pothole. Oh my God, please slow down. No. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was that? That was the donut. Doing what? Exploding. Can you just pull over? Just pull over. I hate people like that. And if you're like that, I'm sorry, but learn if you're going to drive a vehicle, learn where the shit is. Learn where the fuses are if it's an old car. Learn where the electrical part is, that you can like plug the diagnostic thing into, because usually they'll give you one. Figure out where your goddamn spare is. Figure out how to fill a radiator, how to check your own oil, how to make sure all the fluids are right. Like just basic maintenance. You could watch a YouTube video, I'm pretty sure, and learn it all. Just do it. Because if you're ever by yourself, you're fucked if you don't know how to do these things. Just do it. It's not that hard. Learn how to read the air pressure in your tires so that you don't overfill it. I love these people that they're like, oh, I got air in my tire. Oh, yeah. What was the pressure? The what? What? How much did you put in it? I filled it. To what? Well, till it looked full. Okay. It's cold out. Mm-hmm. It's going to get warm. Mm-hmm. Do you know what happens to tires when you go from cold to warm weather real quick and they're really, really full? No, they go. It's like, you know what a blowout is? No. Oh, okay. Or it's about to get cold and they're like, oh, yeah, no, my tire's fine. I just filled it like last month. Yeah, but it was warm last month. So it's really cold. So, okay. Like, that drives me insane. I don't remember ever having a car that didn't have the little tire pressure gauge. It's like, it looks like a pen. Like, how hard is it? And it's got, usually you had the flashlight on the other end of it, but it's tiny. Learn how to just use it. Just and that's it. Okay, I'm good. Or I got to add more. And know what your pressure should be. Write it down. I had a sticker because I could never fucking remember my car because my tires were weird. They were cheap, so they were weird. I had a little sticker that I put on the inside of the glove compartment with the tire pressures for the different like seasons. Because that's what Grandpa told me to do. Like, that's how I grew up doing it. So when I got my own car, that's what I did. I knew what my manual was. I knew where my manual was. Most of them are like, the car comes with a manual. Really? 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 Okay. I mean, all right. It's weird because I grew up with automotive books in the house. Like my grandfather would sit there and just for fun, just read a new manual on how to, fix a certain car, a certain, model or whatever. But oh, that's different. Because he had all this shit cataloged in his head. That's when people be like, oh, he quit school in 2nd grade. He must be stupid. Really? Because that man has memorized like how to fix every make of car since like they came off the fucking assembly line. Like, I mean, literally. He knows how to fix any of them, and he don't need your fancy diagnostic tools. He can. What sound did it make? Oh, I know what that is. Like, and he knew exactly how to fix it. So yeah, he was not stupid. He was skilled. He just didn't think the education system was for him. He didn't like school. It didn't like him. That was what he used to tell me. We didn't get along. It wasn't a good fit. Suzanne. I had the aunt that would pinch those little pinches right to the back of your arm. They pinch and twist. Oh, I can feel it right now without even doing it. That was my grandmother's specialty. The little, and you know she enjoyed that shit. She's like, it's like, oh my God, the grinding knuckle thing. How many generations passed that down? Yeah, no, if I tried that on my son, he does it back. Like we do it to aggravate each other sometimes. Like when he still used to hold my hand to cross the street, which broke my heart the first time. He was like, I don't think I need to hold your hand. I was like, are you sure? I was like, maybe I need to hold your hand. He was like, no, you'll be fine. Like, I cried, y'all. I went home and cried because I was like, he doesn't need me anymore. But yeah, no, he'd say something and I'd be like, oh, you little son of a bitch. And I'd grind his knuckles and he would take both his hands, grab my hand and grind my knuckles back. I'd be like, ow, 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 ow. All right. You don't like it, do ya? I'd be like, no, I don't like it. Then don't do it to me. And sometimes we would just do it he would just, all of a sudden I'd have like, he'd be like walking and talking. All of a sudden I'd have his 2 hands on mine. And he'd smile. I go, don't you dare. And he'd be like, and he would grind them together. I'd be like, all right, 2 can play at this game. And we'd just be walking down the street, like hurting each other and just laughing about it. So stupid. But Lady Olsen, being my age now, guess what? I make all the same comments to my kids. I know I do too, but mine don't always work. That's the problem with my son. With my daughter, they work like a charm. She lives in fear of me. All I have to do is crate. And she, I got it. And she just just change my tone a little bit. But if I say that to my son, he's like, what are you saying my name like that for? If I'm like, Connor, he's like, what? He comes right back at me. And I'm like, go do this. And he's like, why? Because I said so. Yeah, that's not a reason. Like, do you have a legitimate reason or you just want to emotionally manipulate me? I'd be like, oh, like he comes out swinging. He does. He is my child through and through. Answer a question with a more sarcastic, cutting question. That's my son. And that's me. You know, like, oh, do you want to why are you in a fucking hurry? Why are you writing a book? That's all of us. Winning does it to me all the time. I do it to him all the time. And I'm just like, listen, smartass. But we do it to each other because that's the age. That's our generation. It was always, if you don't want to answer a question or you want to be a smartass, which is usually what we do, like answer a question with a question. Like, why not? Shut them right down. Boom. What do you want to eat? I don't know. You pick. Well, we could have this or we could have. All right. Well, pick one of them. Well, what do you want? I don't care. What do you mean you don't care? I don't care. Like, you don't care what we want to eat. Well, then why don't you just feed yourself? Well, then why don't you learn how to cook? And it's just like back and forth. And then it devolves into like just poking each other. Sometimes in a good way. But yeah, no, I can't. Are you going to pick this today? Yeah, I'm going to pick it today. No, I'm going to wait. I'm good. The sarcasm is heavy with us, y'all. Yep. Do you remember wearing blue or green eyeshadow? Your first time. I got called a Coco the Clown or a Bacchanali girl, which is Caribbean for streetwalker. Yeah. Well, a bacchanal girl is like that's a dirty girl. That's a fishy smelling girl. It's almost like bacala in Italian. But I only know that because my uncle. Uh but yeah, no, the first time I tried makeup. All right, so if you're my generation, more than likely you didn't try makeup on yourself first. You had a decapitated Barbie doll that was extra big. Just this bust of a Barbie doll. It was just shoulders and then the face and then the hair. But it was like foot tall. Yeah, you got to put makeup on it. Makeup, horrible makeup, horrible. But you got to do her makeup and you got to do her hair. How many of you had Barbie dolls who just looked more whorish coming out of your little salon than when they went in? Like they'd come in looking like, beach Barbie, and they'd go out looking like hooker Barbie, who got drunk and fell into some Crayola and it melted on her face, and then she rolled in glitter, and here we go. And if you got that makeup on anything, it was never coming off. And inevitably it got somewhere, because you would have it on like the side of your finger and not know it. And then you'd like go to reach for something. You're like, oh, my mother's going to kill me, because you fucked up the furniture or the bedspread or the pillow or whatever. Because you didn't do this like in normal places. You tried to do it like on the floor, on your desk, and the makeup just went everywhere. But yeah, she always looked like a whore. Always. She looked like a well-banged whore too. I raised my kids just like that. I was mean to my kids, so they weren't bothered by others being mean to them. They have Teflon skin. Nothing bothers them. Yeah, everything. I seem like nothing bothers me. Everything bothers me. But yeah, that's how I was raised. And my kids, they're very immune to cursing, like anything kind of off color or whatever. They kind of just take it like, okay, like, all right. Or they find the fucking humor in it. They're not like, oh my God, like my son, I make jokes, that inappropriate jokes all the time about shit that people are sensitive about now. And he's just like, what am I going to do with you? You know, you can't joke outside. I'll do what the fuck I want. I don't care. I will say my jokes literally to the world. Literally. Like I go on YouTube and I say all my jokes and you can't stop me. He's like, you shouldn't talk like that. It's funny though. I'm like, I know. You got the chancla? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shit, my mama had a box of wooden spoons for my ass. No, we had really, really good wooden spoons, but then my uncle was a woodworker. So he used to make the spoons for my grandmother. Yeah. I still have her wooden spoons. Like that's how good they are. And yeah, they fucking hurt. And he would make them from this really light kind of wood so that it didn't bother her to like pick them up and like have to hold them for a long time. It didn't hurt her. It didn't hurt her hands. But let me tell you something. Wood doesn't have to have weight to fucking hurt. Still hurt. Ellie Font. Now parents don't do anything to discipline their brats. No, because they teach them in school. If your parents ground you, that's neglect and that's abuse, and you should call the police or call CPS on them. Like here, it's called DIFUS. They taught all our kids to call DIFUS if they get grounded. Mm-hmm. Yep. I was so pissed off. I was like, go ahead, call them. Call them and get the fuck out. What? Get out and get out naked, because you ain't taking shit that I paid for. If they want you, they can have you. Goodbye. Go see. You think I'm so big? Go see what it's like to live without me. Go. Have fun. By the way, you're going to be sharing a room with like 12 other people and nothing belongs to you. And you're going to have like tons of chores and you're going to eat whatever the fuck they want you to eat. And there'll be no snacking and there'll be no money and there'll be no mom get me this. So go ahead, go. Have fun. I'll turn your room into like, I don't know, like a workout room or maybe like a craft room. Go. Better for me. Right? They don't call. You want me to go ahead, get the fuck out. You don't mean that. Yes, I do. You think I'm a horrible parent? Go see what somebody else is like. Go ahead. Grass is greener. Go eat over there. That was the one hard line I had with my kids. I was like, you're threatening me? Oh, no, no, no. No, we're not threatening me. I didn't sacrifice my fucking youth for you to threaten me. No, like I gave up like good years to take care of you. Your ass is going to do what I told you to fucking do. Otherwise, get the fuck out. I don't know what I do when my kids are going to leave me. If they ever leave me, oh my God, I'm going to be a wreck. But don't threaten me with it, because I will cut off my nose to spite my face. It will break my heart, but I'll do it. I've already told my son, I'm like, do you want to go live with your grandmother? He's like, what? I was like, do you want to go live with your grandmother? You bitch and moan about every single thing that goes on in this house. If you don't like it, change it. You're almost 18. You want to go live with your grandmother? No. Well, do you think it's going to be better over there or worse? Worse? Well, then I suggest you shut the fuck up, since you don't have another option. Get a job, move out. On your 18th birthday, you can move out. Good luck. And he's like, I don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to go anywhere, but you don't want to do anything for me. Like, so he's gotten better, because he's starting to realize, oh shit, I got it kind of good. Let me not fuck this up, because now I'm getting to where she doesn't have to keep me in the house. Like, bro, both my kids made it in my house way more reliably and for longer than I did in my own. Like, by the time I was their age, I had already lived in like, I don't know how many fucking places. It was always, oh, you're comfortable, move out. Oh, you're comfortable, get out. Oh, you're comfortable, go here. So it was like, every time I thought I had a home, I got shuffled somewhere else. So it was like, it was very disconcerting. My kids didn't have that. You know, my son literally spent his entire life in this apartment. Katie spent 2/3 of her life in this apartment. You know, they've always been with me. I have always been with them. Never did they go and just be like, oh, I have nowhere to live. They don't know that kind of insecurity. So for him, he was like, he started thinking about it like, oh shit. Like, she literally could tell me, you're an adult, get the fuck out. You know, like, get the fuck out. He knows on some level that I wouldn't, but he also knows don't push me, because it might kill me to do it. But if you cross that line, bro, like, it's going to happen. I will teach you the hard lesson. It's going to hurt. That's another one. It's going to hurt me more than it hurts you. That actually makes sense to me now. It didn't when I was little, but it does make sense to me now, because I don't want to do this. Why are you making me do this? I want to enjoy my relationship with you. I do not want to threaten you. You know, I don't want to be the hard ass. I don't want to discipline you. I want you to just know. Can't you just behave? Just behave. Follow by example. Like, no. Yeah. They make it really difficult for you to discipline your kids. My Auntie Camille was the queen of the boomerang high heels shoot. Yep, right upside your head. Mm-hmm. My mom would throw whatever was close and then say, wait till your father gets home. And then it was a long talk. And then my dad would send me to my room to wait. He would say, because he's a grown man, and if he hit us, it would be too painful. Only because I'm your father do I hold back. People in real life don't hold back. That's true. That's very true. Ellie said, now children beat adults. Mm-hmm. That's the way it is. So the real issue for me was waiting. Oh, yeah. Like, oh, shit. I made him mad enough that it took him hours sometimes before he would finally hit me. Because they have to calm the fuck down. Mm-hmm. Well, see, Daddy never raised his hand to me. Not once. But he would do the psychological thing. And he would do the emotional thing. Like, he would say, talk to me and tell me what you did. Explain it to me. So then I'd have to that's where I get the confession thing from. Because my mother didn't care. My mother knew what I did. She's like, I already know what you did. I don't want to talk about it. But he'd be like, sit down and tell me. Explain to me why you did what you did. I was like, oh. You mean I have to have a reason? I mean, what if I just felt like it? You just felt like it? Like, that was not an acceptable answer. So then I would have to lay out the whole thing, which made me reflect on what I did and made me feel really stupid. And then I'd feel ashamed that I did it because I'm smarter than that. And all he'd say is, think that was smart? No. You gonna do it again? No. You sure? Mm-hmm. We'll see. We'll see. I don't trust you as much as I did before. You're gonna have to earn that back. I'm really disappointed in you. I thought you were better than that. It was like, oh God. It was like death by 1,000 cuts. It was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like, really? Oh my God, you're killing me. And you'd walk away just like, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. Meanwhile, your mother's like, how come she doesn't react like that for me? Because you just hit her. All you do is hit her and then send her to her room. Like, he used to get to like the source of the matter and he'd make me think about it. He was much more effective than my mother was. And I'm not saying we sat there for hours. This is a 5-minute conversation because he'd look at you like, let's go. Don't give me the long version. Give me the short version. Because if I ever said, like, well, to make a long story short, he'd be like, you're going to make it short when? Anytime soon? Come on, Edna. Like, come on, eat it. That was my mother. My mother would tell him stories and he would sit there and pretend to like unalive himself in various ways. The Archie Bunker thing. He would take the imaginary pills out of the, medicine cabinet, pour the water. He would take them and then all of a sudden, like the head to the side with the tongue hanging out, he'd be dead. Or he'd like throw himself back. He'd have the imaginary pistol that he loaded like with imaginary bullets and he'd hold it up to his head and then just like throw himself back. The noose, that was always the fun one where he'd pretend to hang himself. And she just keep talking. And he's sitting there and I'm hysterical because I'm watching him do this and she's totally oblivious. And she'll look over and he's over there like a corpse. And she's like, oh, you son of a bitch. And she's like, you never take me seriously. He was like, I don't even know what she was talking about. What was she talking about? I don't know. I was paying attention to you. Because we just used to filter her out, man. In college, she would call me and she would talk and Christine would laugh because I would put the phone down because it had a cord. So I would put the phone down and I'd just walk away. I'd come back 15 minutes later. She'd still be yapping. I wouldn't even stop. I just pick up the phone and go, uh-huh. Oh. And just put the phone down. And Christine would be like, there's no way. And I'd be like, go ahead, just say yeah. And different voice. We have very different voices, me and Scutch. And she'd get on the phone. She'd go, uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. And she'd put the phone down. She'd be like, she's still talking. And she doesn't even know that was you. She has no idea. No idea that was you. Or I'd go take a shower and be like, oh, my mother's been on the phone a while. Just say uh-huh for me. She'd be like, all right, wait. She'd pull the phone all the way across the room, open the bathroom door and be like, go ahead. Uh-huh. You could hear the shower. Uh-huh. Okay. And she'd just go and then put the phone back down. My mother never knew. Never knew. Not once. Yeah, but the waiting, that always killed me. Be like, I'll deal with you when I'm not so mad. I'm like, oh shit. Like, I feel like they want to kill me. That's what that told me. You're mad enough that you're going to hurt me if you do it now. I think I'll just go be the best child. You know what? I have tons of time. Let me clean my room. Because if they walked in and you were cleaning your room, that was brownie points. They were already like, okay. They're like, oh, all right. Good choice. Good choice. They're like, oh, you want me to cook dinner? You want this? You want that? Whenever Daddy was disappointed in me, he knew that he was going to get cookies because I would make chocolate chip pecan caramel cookies for him. That was his favorite. And my mother just couldn't get them right. But I made them all the time for him. That was his favorite. I have never made those cookies for anybody but him. Chocolate chip. And he only liked the white chocolate chips. I know, believe me, I know. I always hated white chocolate. And now I'll eat it because it reminds me of him. But white chocolate chip, whole pecans. He did not like the little like when you crushed them up. No, you could have like half chunks or like whatever, but it better be like a pecan that's sticking out of that cookie. He wants to be able to see it because he's like, how many pecans are in there? He liked a lot of them and caramel. And it was a nice half baked heavy vanilla cookie. And that was his favorite. So whenever I was like, I knew I hurt his feelings or I disappointed him, I would make him those cookies. And he would always say, I hate that you had to do that for me to get these cookies, but they're worth it. Whatever. And my mother tried to make them once and he was like, yeah, they're great. Anybody want to play hockey? And I was like, what? And he would like, he'd knock the cookie on the table and it wouldn't crumble. And it'd be like a rock. And he was like, your mother, I don't know how she does it. Every cookie, every biscuit, like they're lethal. Muffins. Oh my God. My mother can make a muffin that will knock you out at like any distance. Just aim that bitch. It's harder than a baseball. I don't know why she makes these biscuits that she calls rock biscuits. Not because they look like rocks, though they do. Because they're drop biscuits. They literally will tear up your mouth and break your teeth. The insides are usually half raw, but the outsides are so thick and hard and overcooked. And I'm like, how do you do this? I don't understand you. Did the gene just skip you? She can't cook. She can't. She can make one dish, baked ziti. That's it. Her gravy's all right. I don't like it. My son likes it. I don't like it. He prefers mine because, of course, he does. But baking, my mother, no. She baked me a birthday cake one year. And after that, my father was like, never again. Like, he always bought me a very special birthday cake, but she made one. I don't get how it was so crooked and like it tasted. It had like no taste. It was like eating like styrofoam. Like it was. Oh, and I remember looking at it and your daddy was like, "Be nice, be nice." She worked really hard on that cake. I was like, "Oh, it's so pretty." Like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Like I don't know how she did it. I don't know how she did it, but she fucked up the whole cake. Never. I've never done that. I've had messed up cake recipes and like cookie recipes where they didn't come out perfect, but I've never had disaster. Not like that. Like, no. Like, So, yeah, that definitely skipped my mother. I remember the matching ceramic ashtray and lighter on the coffee table. The lighter was shaped like a horse's head. Oh, my goodness. The butane ones that they had to refill. I remember those. We had all sorts of things. We even had like, my grandfather had this bank / lighter that it was a clown, but like he was peeing. So if you put the money in the top, he would pee and it would like, it was a bank that peed. And on the other side of it, if you pulled his pants down, the flame popped out of his ass and it lit your cigarette. But I mean, it was so weird because you would literally light your eyebrows on fire trying to get this cigarette lit because it was coming out of his ass. Like he had pee coming out of the front of him and he had like, I think it was whiskey that came out, believe it or not, like some kind of alcohol, but the back out of his ass, that's where the butane flame came from. Yep. And to try to hold up this, I was like, what is the point of this? I used to watch him do it. And I'd be like, he's going to set his eyebrows on fire. He did once. He singed his eyebrows. And I was like, oh, they look better. They're not so bushy. And he was like, I don't look right. And he made me trim his eyebrows to be equal on both sides. He wore a hat for like so long till they like grew in more. Cause he was like, I feel like a fucking woman. It was one of the few times I heard him curse. Well, say fuck. He almost never said that word. But yeah, no, it was weird. So weird. Yep, I started smoking at $7.89 a pack, $25. $25 a pack for fuck that. Age 7, 89 cents a pack. Yeah. No, I remember those days. I started at 15 and nobody even blinked at it. Wolfkinder. Oh my God, I remember those huge ashtrays. I think everybody had the big crystal ones. It was either the clear crystal or you had that brown crystal that it was a square and it had the 4 divots in the corners, but the base was a lot smaller than the top. So inevitably somebody would like put their hand near it and it would topple over and then ashes and cigarette everywhere. I remember those. Oh my God, I forgot about those legit square cameras. Yep, click. They came in colors. I had a blue one. I had a pink one and I had a purple one when that one broke. But you had the discs that went in it. It wasn't regular film. These kids don't know what an Instamatic camera is. They don't know the joy of that as you push the clicker in to load the film to make it go to the next frame so you can take your next picture. Or pressing, like turning the flash on and you hear ooh until it was ready. Because they all made that weird sound. And then you had the flash go off and everybody was blind. And then you had to wait like another minute. You'd be like, oh, I want to take another picture, but I got to wait for the flash. Still waiting. It's almost there. How many pictures you got left? Well, I think I put in a roll of 16 or 12 or it says 11. But then that last picture, you like never got the last picture. It said it was a picture, but then you're like, take it to get developed 3 days later. You go pick it up. Where's that picture? Oh no. You look at the negative. No, it's blank. It's blank. Like, oh, all right. Sure. Negatives, those were a thing. You had your pictures that you put in the albums. You had the pictures that you had like just in the envelope, and then you had the negatives. And if you lost the picture, it's okay. I have the negative, and you'd have to take the negative and say it's this number and whatever. Kids today don't know what slides are. They think it's just some like Google thing. Oh, you mean Google slide? No, like an actual slide. You've never sat through a slide projector show of somebody's long, boring ass trip to the Grand Canyon? Like I have many, many times. Oh, look, this is a tree. This is a tree from another angle. This is that same tree, but it looks different, doesn't? No, it really doesn't. Because nothing was like color. Most of them, they started out black and white. And all you heard was a every time that slide, the next slide loaded, it was like somebody was like cocking the gun. You were like, oh God, there's more. It was like playing Russian roulette, and you got the bullet every damn time. You're just like, oh my God, this doesn't end. And they'd come in with a suitcase of circles that were already pre-filled with the slides. And you're like, oh yeah, I have 5 circles. 5 dishes of slides. How many slides per dish? Oh, 50 or 60. Like, we're going to be here a while. Like, can I get a snack? Like something. No, you sit there and you be quiet and you be nice and ooh and ah at all the right times. God damn it. Like, oh yeah, they just went on vacation. I don't want to go. I feel sick. Oh, look, I cut my foot off. I can't go. Wrap it up, because if I got to go, you got to go. That was the deal. There was no, oh, leave me home. Oh no, if they had to suffer, you had to suffer. God, that was, oh. My grandmother smelled like Love's Baby Soft and really liked it. She smelled yours. I got her the powder. She was so happy. Her doctor told her how nice she smelled. Yep, that was my grandmother. She liked the Anjali powder. So I used to buy her Anjali body splash and the Anjali powder. and it was in a yellow cardboard container with the little tab on the cover that you'd pull the whole thing up so it would at you, and it had like the giant powder puff in it, like real like furry and whatever. And the bathroom always smelled like it because it sat on the back of the toilet, right next to the crocheted skirt that covered the toilet paper with the doll or the puppy on top, depending on what she felt like making that day. And in between those two things was the glass tissue holder, because that's just what you want on top of a toilet tank, is this heavy ass brown and beige tissue cover to go over the tissue box so that you had to reach in and you could never actually reach the tissues. So they had to come out. Yeah, that was my house. That was my house. We had tons of toilet doilies, like that. They were toilet covers, like toilet paper covers. And we had the knitted, like my grandmother upstairs, because she didn't like that the toilet cover, the toilet lid, made noise and would hit the ceramic, the porcelain of the tank. So she knitted a cover for the top of the tank, but that didn't look right. So then she had to knit the cover for the whole toilet tank. And then those, condensation, she doesn't like, they get dirty. So she had to keep making them. So she had like one of every color. And it was like, all right. And they really needed to like blend in with the colored walls and the colored toilet paper and the whole, like, the sink matched the ceramic tiles on the wall, which matched the floor, which matched the towels, which matched the toilet paper, because you had the blue bathroom, you had the pink bathroom, you had the beige bathroom, you had the green bathroom. It was like, like it was a lot. Like, it was a lot. When I think about it, I'm like, why did they do this? Why was this a trend? I don't get it. It was ugly. It was so ugly. And yet it's oddly comforting now. The last time I called AAA because I couldn't get the last lug nut off, the guy said most of the women who call at least try to change it, but the men who call don't. That's true. Men will be like, I'm not getting dirty. I know a couple men like that. I would never date a man who doesn't know how to change a tire. You don't have to be able to fix your car, but you have to be able to change a tire and at least check the oil. Give me a fucking break. Know where your radiator and your battery are. That's all you need to know. Like, I'm quite happy. Let somebody else fix everything else. I need you to be able to do those like 4 or 5 things. I don't need you to plaster walls. I can do that. But I need you to be able to like manage shit. Like, know what to do if a fuse goes out. Because if it's dark, I'm not going down there. Nope. In a house, I'm not looking for a fuse box in the dark. No, that's how you die. You go. I need a guy who can pick shit up. I don't need you to fix the bed, but I need to be able to move the bed. Like that's fine. Because fuck it, I'll just buy a new bed or I'll fix it. I'm very handy. I grew up handy. I didn't have, a man around the last 20 fucking years. So I learned how to fix shit. I know how to rebuild the corners of walls because my daughter used to take them out with her wheelchair until there was nothing but steel left. Just a beam. It was just like, oh, okay. I'd have to rebuild the walls so that, I didn't get in trouble with the landlord. So I learned how to do all that. I learned how to fix holes in walls because, my husband had a problem. But yeah, I'm handy. I don't need them to fix everything. But let me tell you something. If there's a spider, you better take care of that. Not because it ain't going to be me. If there's a mouse, you better take care of that. Nope. Because where am I going to be? I'm going to be hanging from the ceiling or I'm going to be standing on your shoulders. You go do it. Nope. Because I am the biggest pussy when it comes to mice, snakes, spiders, bees. That's it. Those 4. I'll face down a clown before I freaking go anywhere near a bee. Nope. They're like, oh, bees is so... Nope. Mm-mm. Not me. Not this girl. But yet you take out like a bearded dragon or something like that. I'm like, oh, let me see it. So cute. I go to zoos where they have reptile houses. I avoid most of the snake things and I definitely avoid like the bug section because they always have a bug section. Like, mm-mm. And I go right for like the biggest lizard they have. We have one here. It's Turtleback Zoo. They have one of those little, like, well, it's not little. It's a Komodo dragon. And I literally spend the entire time that I'm at that zoo either in the parakeet enclosure where you can go feed all these like wild parakeets, or by the Komodo dragon. And I just sit there and I'm just like, you're so cute. Look at you. What are you doing? And I know it's looking at me like I would eat you. You would be a meal for me. And I'm just like, what are you doing? You're so cute. What's your name? Da-da-da. And people like look at me and I'm like, what? This is what I like. I will go to all the lizards. I'd be like, oh my God, look at you. You're so cute. And they come up, they just look at me like, who is this crazy lady? But I do. I talk to all of them. All of them. And the third place that I go to a zoo is wherever the petting zoo is. That's where you'll catch me with the goats and the sheep and I will have literally a bucket of food so that I'm like, come on, come here. Oh, look at you. Let's cuddle. Like I'm that person. I hate seeing anything locked up. And when I go there, like this one we have snow leopards in ours. And it breaks my heart because they're just pacing and pacing. And I'm like, I get it. Like, I know what they feel like. And I feel so bad for them. It breaks my heart. All the kids are like, oh my God, they're so pretty. Next. And I'm just like, God, what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry this is your life. Like, you were not meant to do this. Because they weren't. They were meant to run free and, claim their land. And they're stuck in this little enclosure. Yeah, you built a friggin' mountain in the middle of it for them to go on the little cliffs or whatever. That's not what they want. They don't want you to throw their food in there and be like, oh yeah, good, it's dead meat again. Like, they want to catch shit. Yeah, look, they're paying attention to the little kids. They're showing off. No, they're looking like, I could eat you. I could eat you. 1, 2, 3. We got breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert. Like, like I can catch every month. I want to rip that little kid's head off because it's not a kid to them. It's food. And it's just like, ugh. And they're like, I don't know. The animal got loose and they went wild. No, they went animal is what they did. You got something caged up for 10 years. It gets out. It goes nutty. That's what I did at 18. Caged me up for 18 years. I got out. I went nutty. Like, because you're like, oh my God, I could finally live. And then you overdo it. So yeah, I mean, I expect that. But, I'm that girl. I'm the one that goes, oh, they're so pretty. I feel so bad for them. And I'll cry. I'm the most sentimental bitch. Lord, I can't, people. Negative, I'm not allowed to touch vehicles anymore. That's the hubby's job. See, I still like working on cars. I just don't get a chance to. Do I prefer to watch a man work on cars? Yeah, huh? Do I prefer if the man comes in smelling like motor oil or antifreeze? Yeah, I will, girl. I will dehydrate that man. Lord. Is the dumb girl single? She sounds like my type. Great, Maddie. That's great. My boy, and yes, she's always single, and there's a reason for that. And it's not her choice. See, if you're single and it's your choice, that's one thing. If you're single, but you are dating for the last 20 years and still nobody ever does a rerun, the problem's you. But she won't see that. My boss is a character from Mean Girls, still stuck in high school. I'm telling this chat so I don't have to say it to her face. Fuck that bitch. Fuck that job. And fuck your boss. Bitch. You want me to beat her up? I'll beat her up. Pow pow. Give her a cocotazo. I had the Barbie bus. That's cool. I know I'm like a half hour behind. Whatever. I got caught up in my stories. Hooker Barbie. I mean, that's what she looked like. She looked like a hooker Barbie. She looked like crackhead hooker Barbie because she looked like she was done, like not hooker Barbie that goes out looking for the John. She looks like hooker Barbie at the end of the night, like at 6:00 in the morning, walking home when the sun is coming up. She's all fucked up, got the fuck hair, and all her makeup is smeared and just ugly. That's what Barbie looked like when we were learning how to do makeup. Give me a break. Who did not make their Barbie look like that? Just me? You could all suck it. My mom had a paddle that said heat for the seat written on it. Oh. Mimsy, what's up, mama? My teachers had paddles hanging on the walls. I remember a social studies teacher who said stand in the corner or get 3 whacks on the butt. Yeah, we didn't get hit after kindergarten. And even then it was just on the knuckles. I hate getting hit on the knuckles. You hit my knuckles, my first reaction is to backhand you. But I don't like it. And that's from that. Because she was the only one who used to do that. But yeah, the standing in the corner, they always made us stand in the corner. Stand in the corner, face the wall. Never the back corner. You had to stand in the front so everybody could see you. And they'd he, and then it was their turn because they laughed at you. Shelly, my 15-year-old boy just packed his lunch and headed out the door to go to work. Aw. That's awesome. That is fucking awesome. I wish mine would fucking get out. He's applying to places. Like, he wants to do work now, but he's like, okay, I also need to go get ID. I'm like, fuck. Because I'd have to go because I have to sign shit for him to get an ID. Mimsy, the link didn't work. What link didn't work? Oh, the link tree? That's fine. It doesn't matter. Second work for me. My BFF's daughter, she let live with her past 18. The kid refused to do anything except get high. No job, no chores. She took her to court and evicted her. The brat runs around saying that's abuse. Of course she does. Of course she does. My mother didn't emotionally support me until like now. She neglected me. Yeah, okay, whatever. I don't even want to hear it. Like, I don't. I love when my mother goes and tells people how hard it was raising kids. I'm like, whose kids? Not yours. Like, because you didn't raise me. You had me on the weekends. Like, people go to court and they get pissed off when that's the custody agreement they get because they only get to see the kid on the weekends. You had me on weekends. It was like, can we drop her off early? And I was a good kid. Like, what the fuck? Why do you have children if you don't want them? And then you have like women like this who do right, and the kid turns around and says, oh, you were a horrible mother anyway. That's abusive. Shelly, I'm disappointed. Now make me cookies. I mean, those cookies were amazing. Oh my God, biscuits shouldn't be hard. My Southern heart. Girl, you're telling me? I don't even want to tell you what the meatballs were like. Good God. Like, she would make meatballs and I'd be like, I don't want them. I don't want them. Why? Because they're like rocks and they have no taste. How do you make a meatball with no taste? I don't understand it. I don't understand. How do, like, I made her make meatballs in front of me once when I was little. I was like, I wasn't little. I was like 15. And I was like, I can't deal with this anymore. How do you make meatballs? And she was like, I don't know. I make them the way your grandmother does. No, you do not. I was like, you so don't. I was like, next time you're making meatballs, I want to see. So she like called me out one day and she was like, all right, I'm going to make meatballs. I was like, oh God. I was like, I guess I'm not eating this week. And I went out and I'm watching her and I'm like, what? Why are you using so many breadcrumbs? Wait, you're not done? Like, where's the garlic? Oh, I put garlic powder. No. Wait, well, where's the onion? What? I put onion powder. Okay, so it's powder and powder instead of actual food. Okay. Why are you putting so much breadcrumbs? Because I want to make more. All right. And then she starts forming where's the milk? You don't put milk. You didn't put eggs and you didn't put milk. You literally took ground beef, put a whole bunch of dry shit in it. And now, why are you rolling them so hard? Well, because you have to pack them or they fall apart. No, they fucking don't. I was like, what is wrong? She's like, then you show me. And I went through the whole thing. Because I had to like literally throw out everything that she made. And I made them in front. And she was like, oh, that's way too much work. Okay, but that's why mine tastes like good meatballs and yours taste like rocks. They just have no fucking taste. Like, it was terrible, but she makes them the way I make them now. They still don't taste like mine. My son's, he gets happy. He's like, I had meatballs at grandma's house this week. They were so good. I'm like, were they hers? No, they were the frozen ones. Oh, he goes, I won't eat grandma's meatballs. No. He was like, I like it when she makes like hamburgers and stuff. He was like, but meatballs, no. Like, no. Yeah. But the biscuits were hard on the outside, don't forget, and they were like raw on the inside. Like literally raw. And the thing is, the recipe came right off the Bisquick box. It was literally mix and water. That was it. So they had no taste. No taste. Like Daddy would just look at them and he'd look at me and he'd go, get me more butter. Because he would put like half a stick of butter on each half and just let it melt so that they kind of, and he would have to cut mine because I almost cut my fucking finger off once trying to cut through the biscuit. My biscuits, they're light and fluffy and you just pull them apart with your fingers. It's great. But whatever. My mother's a terrible cook. My grandma never cooked. My mother had 0 sense of smell, so her food sucked. My daddy would cook. Oh, I loved it when Grandpa would take over the grill. That was one thing Grandma was like, I don't grill. Like the barbecue, that's your grandfather's domain. Okay. And I would love it. Like in the summertime, he'd walk in and he'd be like, dinner's not ready. And she'd bring this giant plate of steaks over. And she'd have like hamburgers over here. And there'd be like, ribs in the middle. And she's like, here, go outside. And he'd be like, oh, all right. And he'd happily, we'd have to wait like an hour more for, dinner or whatever. But, well, more than that. But, oh, it was so good. It was so good. Or she'd get like fish and she'd clean the fish and then she'd like stuff them with like all different like butter and whatever. And she'd have like tomato and sliced lemon on top. And then she'd wrap them in foil and give them to him. And he'd take them out and he'd do them on the barbecue. And oh my God, I used to love that. It was so good. So good. My mom used Bisquick. Yes. Biscuits, pizza dough. I hate Bisquick. I don't understand it. Everything else was made from scratch. She even used to make like waffle mix from Bisquick, pancakes from Bisquick. It's like, really? Really? It was horrible. Everything tasted the same. Everything. And then they're like, why do you use so much? Why do you use so much syrup? Because otherwise it's got no taste. Like to this day, I still have a hard time. Like if the pancake don't look right, like if it looks like hers, I can't eat it. Can't. And I mean, I'll use a box mix sometimes because I don't have time to fucking sit there and measure shit out sometimes. It's just like, all right. You add the milk or the whatever till it's the right consistency and just pour it fucking in. But I mean, I'm also the one that has containers for the pancake batter and I dye them different colors and I draw stuff on the damn thing for my kids because they like shit like that. Like I'll do their name because you gotta, when you do the name, you gotta write it backwards. Because when you flip it over, it's gotta be the right way. And he was like, well, just write it the other way. And then when you flip it over, flip it back. And I'm like, no, that's not challenging. Like one side is always like, it cooks different than the other. I don't know, but I've made all sorts of stuff. When that was a trend, I totally got into that trend. Oh my God. Of like making whole pictures on the thing. Mm-hmm. My son loved it. But luckily what my son really likes are silver dollar pancakes. He doesn't like the big pancakes. He's like, silver dollars taste different. It's the same batter, but it cooks different to him. And I also make all my pancakes with bacon grease because they just taste better. But instead of like just butter, it's always butter and bacon grease. Mm-hmm. He doesn't understand. Like he goes in the fridge. He's like, "Why is there this container of just fat?" And I'm like, "That's bacon grease." Why do you say? Why do I say you like your pancakes? Is that why they taste like that? Yeah, and that's why they're crispy on the outside. Why the edges are always crispy. But yeah, he'll learn. My mama had a leather cigarette and lighter for as long. Get the cigarette case. Did she have the kind that it was that it like pinched together? You know how it had them, it was all leather and then it had like the metal bars on top that would clip shut and you'd have to like separate the little knobs in the middle to open it. My mother always had that. Go get me my cigarettes. It was always in a case. Always. It was great because you always knew what to get them for like Christmas or Mother's Day or their birthday. Because they always needed a new cigarette case because those things, they fucking, they took a beating. And you could get one in Walmart. They sold them right by the register. They had the whole thing. You had all different leather ones. The one with like the pouch in the front for the lighter. Oh, yeah. I love Bisquick. My mom would make pancakes with it. My mother was horrible with the Bisquick. Everything tasted like Bisquick and everything was like a rock. She didn't make meals. She made weapons. I had a 110 camera. Pictures weren't square. They were longer. Yep. And used the flash cube. Yes. Oh my goodness. Each cube was 4 flashes. It would turn. It would. I remember those. Oh my God. The black Instamatics. They were long and you'd put the roll of film in the back and you'd have to feed it through. Otherwise, they had the ones that had the two spools at the end. So one was full, and then as it went through at the end, this way you knew if you used the film or not. If the part on the left was full, you were done. Yeah. If the one on the right was full, it was a new roll of film. Mm-hmm. And anybody else have like a whole bag full of film canisters? Those little black film canisters with the gray plastic top, and there was always something written on them that was worn off because we didn't have Sharpies. Anybody remember that? I had tons of those. My father, he used to have the camera case that was like a fanny pack when we went on vacations to have like his camera in, because his camera had to be fancy. But, I had the little Instamatic. But yeah, I remember that. You could smell the flash cubes when they went off. Yep. They used to make that little popping noise sometimes. And if it didn't make the noise, you were like, oh, the flash didn't go off. And you knew it. Sorry, I called AAA. I mean, you can. I'm not saying, like, I think girls should be able to just call AAA, but I think they should know just in case they ain't coming. Because sometimes AAA is like, yeah, AAA, triple fuck you. I'm not coming. Or they make you wait 4 hours in a really sketchy neighborhood. You ever notice that your tire goes out in the worst places? Mine always go out like at one particular spot on the turnpike. I was 9 months pregnant, driving down to Philly, and my car had a blowout, and I was going really fast, and I went, and that's fine. I didn't hit the median. I went all the way over, and I got into the side lane because I'd started on the right and veered off to the left. And then I went back to the right. But I mean, I controlled my car, whatever. I pulled over and the lug nuts had rusted onto my tire. And I was just like, how the hell am I supposed to do? 9 months pregnant by myself on the side of the turnpike. Super busy. And I was just like, what? All I was thinking was, thank God it was on the passenger side and not the driver's side, because there's no fucking way I'm trying to do this in the highway. So I was just like, mm-mm. And I did. I felt like people were like honking the horn, like, sorry. And I was like, fuck you all. Because I was like, my stomach was huge. I was pregnant with Katie. and I'm trying to like get this thing off, and I had the lug nut wrench on there, and it would not move. So what did I do? I put my foot on it and started banging on the goddamn thing, trying to like get it to move, because with my center of gravity, I couldn't fucking get a good grip and like leverage. So I couldn't get it to go. So I'm like, try it. And then all of a sudden there's this dude talking to me. I was like, where the hell did you come from? I look up, there's this big ass ShopRite truck, this tractor trailer. He said, honey, I had to get off at the exit and come back around and come back on the turnpike. He said, and I said, if she's still there, I'm going to help her. And I was like, and I just burst into tears. He was like, I got this. It's okay. It's like, I got this. Now, nowadays, I'd be afraid he's going to kill me. Then I was just like, oh my God, thank you so much. I was like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Because it was hot. It was fucking June. And I'm just like, oh my God, it was so hot. And I was so pregnant and I was so over it. And he went and he fixed it. He was like, where are you going? I was like, Billy. He's like, you got quite a run. I'm going near there. He was like, I don't think this donut is that safe, because that's what I had. I had a donut because nobody in the gas station replaced my tire like I asked them to. And he was like, you know what? You go. I'll just follow you there. He said, when you get to the Allegheny Bridge, and I know that there's people, like, I'll keep going, and then you go where you need to go. I was like, thank you. And he did. He followed me the whole way there to make sure that I got there. He was so sweet. And I tried to give him money. He was like, absolutely not. He was like, you just take care of that baby. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. He was like, boy or girl? Girl. He was like, good for you. You'll be a great mom. But I was like, thank you. But it was so nice. But yeah, they don't do that anymore. But be able to do it just in case. She said, I check my tires and then go pay them to fill them. Sorry, not handy that way. Well, I mean, honey, I grew up at a gas station. So if I can't do that, shame on me. I'm a different animal. Okay. Like there's things I'm good at that other people are like, how did you fucking learn how to do that? Because I had to. Like, it was just part of life. You better be able to fix my car, dude, or you're kind of worthless in my opinion. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, that was the only thing I liked about my ex-husband, how good he was with cars. But I don't expect that of everybody. Like, not everybody grew up that way. You know, some people had money. They didn't have to fix their cars. They could get their cars fixed or just, upgrade their car. Which is nice, but it's not practical. Like, I need somebody who could fix a truck. Like, if my engine is going pop, 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 I want you to know why. But if you don't, I mean, what am I going to do? It's definitely something that you want, but it's something I could live without. I got used to lizards in Florida, those little gecko ones. Oh my God, the ones that like jump off of everything onto you. Yeah. I chased those every time I went to Florida. I was like, oh my God, lizards. I love lizards. My grandmother that lived down there, Daddy's mother, she was like, I can't, she's not like a girl. Like, she's always running around for the lizards and the frogs. Because I just liked going fishing and stuff like that. I grew up that way. Worms don't trick me out. My sister could not friggin' put a worm on her hook. We went fishing. She was like, no, ew, it's wriggling. It's a worm. It's going to bite me. It's an earthworm. It's not like I got you a bloodsucker. Jesus, I didn't get you a leech. It's a fucking earthworm. No, but look at the end. Look, it's going to. Do you see that? Do you see teeth there? No, then how's it going to bite you? Well, it's going to suck my blood out. It's literally a 3-inch long worm. The opening is smaller than a fucking pencil tip. And you're worried about that? Give me the fucking worm. Give me the fucking worm. And she's like, oh my God, you're hurting it. It's a worm. You were just worried it was going to bite you. Now you're worried that I'm hurting the worm? Stop it. Like, oh God, the girly girlness. I can't be around people like that. I can't. If you're like that, I apologize, but no, like the whole frilly kind of, No, no, girl. I don't do the girly girl thing often. I don't. When I do, it's like I said, bees, mice, snakes, spiders. That's pretty much it. That's the girly girl thing. If you scare me, then I do the girly yell. I do the like the high pitched kind of scream. Yeah. Or I punch you. It depends. It's a roll of the dice. Take your chances. I don't ask him to do dishing, and he best not ask me to change my oil. Although I will if I need to. But I haven't had to in 35 years, and he hasn't had to clean the house or cook. See, that's nice. That's nice. I cook everything in bacon grease. I mean, everything is better with bacon, and bacon grease is just, yeah. Well, I got to be careful though, because we'll literally no, I don't need a heart attack. I'm good. But yeah, no, it's my grandmother always used to have she had different pots of grease. So you had the old oil, which, she would dispose of separately, because I learned very early, you never pour oil down the sink. My daughter did not learn that. And she poured an entire frying pan's worth of oil down my sink and didn't tell me. So I go to use the sink a couple hours later, and why is my sink stopped up? What the hell? So what do? You go and you get the snake for the drain, because my mama didn't raise no bitch. I'm gonna snake the drain and clear it out, and I pull it out. I'm like, what is this? And just tons and tons of congealed oil, and with all the stuff stuck in it that, whatever got caught. And I was just like, are you kidding me? And of course, the cold water and everything else made it more solid. And I was like, this wasn't just regular oil. This was come on. And I was like, who did that? And she was like, oh, I just poured it down. You poured it down with all the there was all breadcrumbs in the bottom of it from me frying and everything. I was waiting to get a can. Yeah, I was waiting to finish the coffee so that I could pour it into the coffee can, cover it, seal it, and throw it out. Because that's how they tell us to do it. And she was like, oh, I just poured it. I was like, did you at least put Dawn? Put Dawn where? In the frying pan? Yeah. No. First of all, I hope you didn't scrub my frying pan with Brillo, because I'll kill you. And she's like, no, well, maybe. Number one. Number two, Dawn goes, if you drop oil down the drain, pour Dawn down the drain and let it run with the hot water running for 5-10 minutes. Just let it flush it all out. Why would that work? Just I hate having to explain shit to her, because even when I explain it, she still don't get it. But yeah, I was, oh my God, that aggravated the fuck out of me. But that happened with a lot of bacon grease. So I have to be careful. But yeah, no, I always had different containers of, there was the Crisco container, there was the bacon grease container, and there was the regular old oil container. There was the reusable oil container, because oil is expensive. And then there was this is, too used and too old. This is we're throwing this out as soon as it's full container. We always had them. Yep, the case pinched together. Pinched. I knew there was a word I was looking for. I couldn't do it. My brain would not supply the fucking words. Gutter. I'm so sorry. She had her name on most of her cigarette cases. Aw, that's probably because other people had cigarette cases and she didn't want them to take hers. There was always money in there and a tissue. Always. I would open it up and she'd have there'd be a candy or a stick of gum somewhere in there. There'd be a folded up $5 or $10 bill, sometimes a 20, depending on how rich we were at the time. And the lighter and a tissue along with her cigarettes. And they never bought the hard pack cigarettes. They used to have the soft pack. If you gave them the hard pack, they got mad because it didn't fit right. And it was an extra step. in the cigarette case. Yeah, I need soft pack. I don't want a hard pack. I don't want a flip top box. I was like, okay. And she would get really upset. These are the wrong kind. And those are your cigarettes. I didn't want a box. Now I got to tear the top off the box. Bah, 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 bah. Okay, Ma. Why don't you just use the box as the case? No, because then you can't get your lighter in there right away. You have to wait until you smoke like a quarter of. You know how long it takes me? 15 minutes. Are you afraid you're going to lose the lighter in 15 minutes? Because she is the queen of lighting a cigarette, putting it down, and walking away, and then lighting another one. And I'm like, the other one is still on fire. It's still lit. You can still smoke that. Yeah, I don't want that one now. I'd want this one. I'm smoking this one now. So then put the other one out. It'll burn out. Oh my God. You're good. Double the smoke. That's great. Thanks, Ma. Thanks. I didn't realize that because my family smoked, that's why they used to paint the apartment, like, in the house all the time. Like, they paint the rooms downstairs. Nobody was allowed to smoke in the whole, like, in the bedrooms. There was no smoking in bedrooms. And that's something even like I attest to. I will not smoke in the bedroom. But they used to smoke in the kitchen, the parlor, mostly the kitchen. But I mean, we all congregated in the kitchen. So they used to like paint the walls like at least every 2 years. And it was just all the time. And my grandma would be like, oh, it's time to paint. The ceilings got painted more often than the walls. And I didn't figure it out until I was older. And the hot water heater broke. And there was condensation all throughout my house. And you look up and the walls are literally look like they're bleeding. And it's just these brown streaks. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And my grandma was like, God damn smokers. It doesn't matter how many times I wash the friggin' walls. I never understood why she used to mop the walls. She made my grandfather use like gloss paint whenever he painted so that she could mop the walls and get all that stuff off. Every time. And if God forbid you had like anything, like if you took a long shower or whatever, you go in the bed and be like, ugh, oh, why is everything brown? Why is everything speckled? Like, that's why. But yeah, it took me years to figure that out. When that happened, I was like, oh my God, that's so gross. And it is gross. I use the film canisters for my pot, which they now use in pot stores. Yep. I didn't put pot in it. I had, I would use that for like all my little knickknacks and stuff. Like for like the Barbie doll accessories, so I didn't fucking lose them. Daddy used to give them to me, and this one be full of heels. This was full of earrings, because it was just an easy way to keep things. Some of them had like, I have thumbtacks in one, or all the little shit that used to get lost. I used to put into those, and then I would spend an hour taking the tops off of each fucking one because I couldn't find what the hell I was looking for. Film canisters equal weed. Yeah, I was too young for that. And I didn't really start smoking weed, like my own weed, like regular, till I was in my 40s. No, I had too much to do. I couldn't be slowed down. It was only when my anxiety was through the goddamn roof that I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me start this. And I started on a vape. Because I was like, oh, I hate the smell of weed. I hate the taste of weed. Because it always used to make me sick. Because I had street weed when I was younger. Like, it was all skunk weed. It was horrible. And it was also in a blunt form. So it was a cigar outside. Ugh. I don't like blunts. Like, I'll make a blunt with rolling paper. That's not a problem. I make amazing joints. But with the cigar leaf, no. Nope. I love the smell of a cigar. I hate the taste of one. If it's a good cigar, I don't mind. But like with the weed, no, it just makes me sick. And I think now it's just a memory kind of nausea. Like a memory trigger. But yeah, no, when I started smoking like weed, they had all these different like flavors and smells, and this one does that and that. I had to learn about weed. That didn't become a thing until now. Like when I was younger, there were no different types. There was the weed that cost a little and a weed that cost a lot less than a little. So if you had no money, guess what? You went for the cheapest one that you could get. The only way that I had options was, do you want a nickel, dime, or quarter bag? And you only got a quarter bag if you were going to make a Godfather blunt. Like, because we didn't save weed. Never. Like, I could get weed anywhere. It was like, why would I store it and get caught with it? Fuck you. Like, I'll just go and just, hey, here's $5. Here's the $5 I owe you. Oh, here's the little bag of Bart Simpson crap that I owe you. Okay. They always had fucking cartoons on the outside. It was so stupid. But that's how you knew where you got your weed from. You'd see somebody's bag of weed and be like, oh, you go to such and such. They're like, yeah, how'd you know the bag? Oh, yeah. I was always suspicious of a plain bag, like a see-through one. Because I was used to, each one of our dealers around here, they had their like little calling card. I never knew their names. Like I knew their nicknames, but that was about it. I had a cop pull over once when I was changing a tire on the off ramp. He said, you look like you got this, and left. Oh, yeah, no. My car stopped in Weehawken. I didn't have a flat tire. The car just stopped. And I was able to like coast onto the side where there was a like row of garages. And I pulled up onto the sidewalk because the street wasn't very big. And I was pregnant with Katie. I was 7 months pregnant. Miguel was with me. And he was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, go find a payphone. Because of course we didn't have cell phones. And call my mother and tell her that I need Fredo to come up here and help me either make it work or I'm going to need him to push me home. Now we were at the top of a fucking hill. So I had to like drive this fucker the whole way down once he got there. But a cop went around the block like 6 times. And each time he'd look at me and I'm having contractions because I went into early labor before that. So I had constant contractions. And I'm standing there like you could tell I was in pain. And Miguel wasn't with me. So I was by myself. It's late at night. It's like 11 o'clock at night. And he just kept going past. My mother's husband pulls up. He gets out. He starts to put the chain on my back bumper so he could push me because he didn't want to tow me. He wanted to push me there. And then I'd steer. And the cop pulls over and goes, what's going on? I lost it. I was like, you motherfucker, you passed me like 10 fucking times and didn't stop. Now that I'm being helped, you have that. He got right back in his car, took off, and did not go around that block again. I was like, oh, I was so mad. So mad. How fucking dare you? Like, now you stop? Does it look like I'm in distress now? No. But before, you couldn't be bothered. Get the fuck in your little patrol car. Get the fuck out. Like, I will kick your ass. I swear to God. He was so embarrassed. He ran. My mother's husband was like, it was like, your mother worries sometimes. I don't know what she worries about you for. It's like, you'll be fine. Oh, I just don't know how to change a tire or any of that at this point. Not going to learn. So I depend on AAA. And yeah, I've had to wait hours for him and at times scary. Yeah, no, I'm not judging, honey. Trust me. Everybody knows how to do different skills. That's just one of the skills that I can't live without. But that's because I grew up in a gas station. Like, if I don't know how to do it, like that's bad. It's a bad look for me. It just makes me feel bad. But I know tons of women and I know tons of men who don't know how to change tires. And the men I mock openly because how dare you? The women, I'm just like, oh, that's because you're so petite and delicate. Like, you don't like to get dirty. I love to tease them, but it's all done in love. It's done in love. Oh my God, I can't believe he left. Oh, he absolutely. Yeah, that's what they do. The cops won't stop. They won't stop. The worm. I know. My sister was hilarious. I'm checking out the carnivore diet. They say you're better off cooking your stuff in bacon grease than all the I don't use avocado oil or sunflower oil. No, thank you. Olive oil, yeah. Canola oil. It depends. It depends. I don't like cooking a lot of things in olive oil. Like I'll add olive oil to a dish or something, but to like cook anything, like to fry it in olive oil, it's not right. It don't taste right. I'll add olive oil to the other oil for taste and for texture, but no, olive oil we do, believe it or not, that's what I fry like the pastry in. Like if I have to fry up like the honey balls and stuff like that, that's what we use the olive oil for. I know it's weird. It's not everyone, but I know. Yeah, but we usually just add olive oil to salads and shit. I know I'm Italian, but we're not big on olive oil. We're really not. Like it was never a thing. We buy the big fucking container, but it lasts forever. Yeah, seed oils. I don't trust seed oils. I don't like them. I don't like sunflower oil. Avocado oil, it just sounds wrong. I'm not using that. Peanut oil, I don't like, even though French fries done in peanut oil are really, really good. But I don't like using any of them. Flaxseed oil, stuff like no. She always had a bobby pin in her cigarette case too. Soft packs were easy to put in their cases. Yeah, because the case closed. A hard pack they wouldn't close. Yeah, that's what I've been gathering as well. The whole food pyramid was a lie. Imagine that, right? That whole USA myplate.gov. Get out of here. Another reason I don't fry anything unless I have a spare coffee can. I don't know what to do with the oil, right? There's like no way to dispose of anything anymore. You can't throw out drugs. You can't throw out batteries. You can't throw out oil. It's like, what the fuck? And then they're like, she's a hoarder. No, this is your idea of recycling. I just have to hold on to it forever. Well, it's going to go to a landfill. I'm so glad you made me hold on to it for like the longest time. Thanks. It's all going to go to the same place. That's great. Did you check out that 80s hair salon lady? I haven't done that yet. She has a fake cigarette prop that looks real. The end even looks like ash. I'm ready to fall off. Oh my God. That was one of Daddy's things. He worked in a magic shop, which was also like a sex shop, and I didn't realize that until I was older. But he worked there before he worked for the florist. He always had a Saturday job to make extra money because he never liked saying no to me for anything. That's why when guys are like, oh, I have no money, get another job. They're like, oh, well, yeah, I'm looking for whatever. All right, get another job. Like, I don't know what to tell you. When I need money, I work for it. Like, that's what we do. But Daddy worked 5 days a week in the gas station. And then every Saturday, he worked in this magic shop as a, customer service, like cashier or whatever. And he would always do that for money so he could buy me whatever I wanted. And, he could take us out and we'd go to movies. He never had to worry. He was completely in charge of the bills. I didn't even, like, my mother had no idea what the rent was, nothing. And it's weird because right before he died, and like I said, he died at 34 suddenly. The weekend before he died, well, the weekend that the aneurysm popped, the aneurysm popped on a Monday morning when he was getting ready for work. He was on the toilet, which is not the way you want to go. But that Friday, we went home and we had pizza and whatever. And he was like, let's watch a movie. I think we watched like Star Wars or something. But I just remember I fell asleep and he left me sleeping on the couch next to him, which I almost never got to sit on the couch next to him because he would lay out. But he was very like, you want to play video games? You want to do this? It was weird. It was like he knew. And that Friday night, he took time to do the bills. And it was the middle of the month. He never did bills at the middle of the month. And he did them. He put all the checks, because he paid by check, in the envelopes. He put the stamps and he put them on the end table by the door. And he said, Michelle, remember these are here. They have to go out by the end of the month. And I was like, okay, like, why are you telling me? I don't do this. He was like, I need you to remember to mail these. Are you going to remember to mail these? I was like, yeah. He was like, all the bills this month are right here. Okay. He was like, and I paid the rent. Okay. Why are you telling me this? No reason. And then Sunday, he was like, hey, let's go to your mom's, to my mother, because it was July. He was like, let's go in the pool. I feel like going in the pool. And I was like, eh. He was like, no, I really want to go. Okay. We went. We had a great day in the pool. We had barbecue. We had whatever. My grandmother was so happy, so surprised that we were there. Oh, I have a Sunday with the family. And we, like, you know, my aunts came over. Everybody got to like hang out. We had a great day. And then, of course, we go inside and I tripped on a wet spot on the linoleum and I fell. And he got mad because he got scared, because that was his reaction when I got hurt. He would get mad because he was afraid, and he'd yell, oh my God, why can't you pay attention to what you're doing? And I was so embarrassed because everybody was there and I was 13 and he was on his way out the door to go home. And he was like, you never look where you're going. And I said, God, why do you have to yell at me? I hate you. You know what? Drop dead. And that was the last thing I ever said to him. Because he went home and then the next morning he dropped dead. Huh. Anyway, but it's like he knew. It's like he knew. And it's funny because he made sure he made notes in the checkbook. This has to go out by this time every month. This amount this time every month. This amount twice, you know, like a year. This one is, you know, you pay this yearly. And I was like, why did he make all these notes? Because I'm 13 years old, not thinking. And I was like, oh my God, he made these notes for me. He didn't make them for my mother. He knew my mother would never be able to pay those bills. She had no way of knowing what anything was. And because she was so, you know, oh my God, my poor life, you know, she just broke down and everybody was like, oh, Michelle will do it. Michelle will do it. I became the parent fully in that moment. When he died, I became the adult in my house. When he was sick, I was the adult in my house. You know, I remember we were at the hospital and the doctor told her exactly what happened and that he wasn't going to make it. That, you know, the blood clot was getting bigger in his brain and, you know, there was backup and it was going to blow out his medulla, which meant that his everything would be gone. There would be no function, no nothing. He would just be brain dead. And she just shut down. And it was just me and her. I'm 13 years old. Thank God I knew how to drive, because she just took me by the hand and led me out. And we went to the parking lot and she sat in the driver's side and she's just looking at the key in her hand. Like, what do I do with this? And we sat there for like 15, 20 minutes. And I finally was like, are you okay? Because she didn't tell me what was going on. I found out later that this is why she had shut down. And she was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And she kept repeating that. And I was like, you know what? How about I drive home? Because she couldn't function. And she got out of the car and I had to go around and get her out of the car and put her in the passenger side. And I'm like, how the hell? I had never driven the Jeep. Because Daddy that was his baby. He'd never had a new car in his life. That was his new car, brand new, made specifically the way he wanted it. And I was not driving that car. Nobody drove that car but him. And I didn't know how to drive it. And I'd only ever driven like stick shift. So I was like, what the hell? How do you do this? For me, learning to drive automatic was very strange. Manual transmission that's what I grew up on. Now I don't even know if I remember how to drive a stick shift. I'm sure it'll come back to me, but I haven't driven a stick shift in forever. And I had to drive down this fucking mountainside. 13 years old. I'm beside myself because I'm worried about him because that's my world in there. I have this catatonic fucktard that's in the passenger seat lighting the wrong end of her cigarettes over and over and over and then throwing them on the floor instead of throwing them out the window because she's not fucking functioning. And I'm trying to like not drive into traffic and I'm driving a car that I've never driven before. And let me tell y'all, if you go from a car that has no power steering, because every truck I ever drove had no power steering, to a car that has power steering, you don't realize how sensitive that wheel is. Because without the power steering, you gotta be tough. You gotta be able to hold that wheel where it's supposed to be, and then you gotta be able to like crank it all the way to the side, like you're using two hands to like pull this wheel. Yeah, no, power steering, well, that was eye-opening for me. Really touchy brakes, like automatic brakes without shifting and everything. That's and like trying to like hit the clutch and there's no clutch there. Like it's just a very weird experience. And I had to do that. I had to drive home like that down a mountain. And I mean, it was not like, oh, you're taking a winding road. No, it was a steep fucking road down a mountainside. And it was long and curly and like curvy and whatever. Yeah, it was bad. But I mean, I made it. But that was when I became, I think, the adult in my relationship with my mother. And that was fine with her. She never went back. Never went back. She stayed the one that gets taken care of. So yeah, it's weird. Fun. I wasn't expecting to remember that, like to go back to that. But yeah, no, she didn't know how to do any of that stuff. None of it. She did not adult well at all. I know, right? That pyramid just made a lot of people fat. Yep, I've been reading a lot lately on seed oils. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Darth was giving me bullshit the other day about seed oils. That Luke, whatever his name is, would be very disappointed I didn't name seed oils as a problem. As being in too many foods. People think I'm crazy, but from here on out, I question everything. Man, absolutely. I don't blame you either. Always good to research on your own. Yep. There was green weed and dirt weed where I came from. We didn't have none of the weed was green. None of ours. It was all brown. That's all it was. It was just brown. And then you had to like break it up and you had to take the twigs and like sticks and stems and seeds out. So you had to like break it all apart. It didn't come to you all. Oh, there's no seeds in this. Why don't I have seeds? Because we weren't stupid. We saved the seeds. You can grow your own weed from those seeds. It's not a problem. I mean, not all of them take, but most of them do. Yeah, just take them, throw them in the yard in a corner somewhere and come back in a couple months. They're fine. That's why when people are like, oh yeah, it takes a lot to grow. Really? Because mine just grew in the backyard. I didn't have to do anything special. Just throw them all in the same place and eventually weed will grow. But I wasn't the one who used to harvest it. My mother's husband used to harvest it because I just never did it. But he would take it and dry it out and he'd separate everything. And then he'd give me a bag of seeds and a bag of weed. I was like, all right. I was young. I was what, 17? I didn't smoke the weed. It was from my boyfriend. My boyfriend that I wasn't sleeping with. So it was like, we're not gonna have sex. All right, you got weed? Yeah, here you go. That was an easy trade-off. Most of the time there was only one kind. You took what you could get. Yeah. I mean, and it all smelled like skunk. I was so surprised the first time I had weed that did not smell like skunk. I was like, oh my God, what magic is this? Because I hated that smell. You can smell that shit anywhere. But it never smells like what they say it smells like. They're like, it smells like bananas. No, fucking don't. It just don't smell like skunk. Still smells like weed though. After I saw house soy oil. There's no soy in my house. Aggravated one of my dog's medical conditions. And caused inflammation. I avoided as much as possible. They put soy in most tuna and peanut butter. Yeah, that's why I get the organic peanut butter now. Thank you, Winning. And tuna fish, I only get tuna in water. I don't like it in oil. And it's usually the white albacore. If I have no money, then it's chunk light tuna in whatever the fuck is on sale. But we don't really eat a lot of tuna in my house. We're more crab and lobster people. I never really, I like tuna. Tuna is great to take on road trips because, you freeze the tuna, make it really, really you make the mix, then you make the sandwiches, you put them in the freezer for a half an hour and then put them in the cooler and they stay really well. And it's a really good road trip food. But no, for the most part, I'm not a huge tuna fan. The cats love it. That's the only reason I have tuna in my house. They're the ones that eat it. Yeah, I read that too. The palm oils are in everything too. Hard to get away from them completely. It's terrible. Canola, veggies, soybean oils cause inflammation. Figures. Luckily, I don't fry anything anymore. I use the air fryer. I gotta go. Have a good day. Hi, bye, Ellie. Have a wonderful weekend, honey. Thanks for hanging out and just having fun. I just wanted to have a fun stream. Aw, you gifted one membership, Mimsy. Wait, I gotta see. HT was gifted the membership. Aw, that's so nice. Thank you, Mims. All right, so let's see. This is for Mimsy.
You're the reason that I always win. I'm gonna take a minute to clearly say I love and appreciate you every day.
And then for the members,
to the madhouse, we be running muck. Keep it all real and we don't give a fuck. World gone crazy, we here dancing in the rain. Welcome to Shelly's house, we just a little bit insane. Bring your real self, I ain't asking for more except one thing, leave your bullshit at the door.
Until Winning makes me a booby one, that's what you get. But thank you so much, Mims. I appreciate that. You're so sweet. Mims gifting a membership. Awesome sauce. Congratulations, HT. I'm looking into the Galveston diet. It's designed for women of a certain age. Is it really? What does it entail? I prefer anything that's meat based. Don't make me have to be like a fucking rabbit. I don't want to chew on lettuce all goddamn day. You know what? You're going to laugh. I don't like eating salads all the time because at some point they just get too crunchy. You ever just get tired of crunching? I'll go through one period, every month, I'll go through a week where I'm I just want salads. I want a salad like buffalo chicken in it, or I want a steak salad or a shrimp salad or a Cobb salad. Never just a plain salad. It's a meal. If I'm going to have a salad, it's going to have some type of protein in it. But yeah, no. Thanks. Thank you, Mimsy. What are you thanking me for? Thank you. So the Galveston diet. I don't know. No, let me write that down. The Galveston diet. Just steak and biscuits and gravy, right? That's all that is. That's the Galveston diet. Women of a certain age. So it's probably anti-inflammatory. It's probably good for the skin. That'd be nice. I don't know. I'd be happy on a meat and potato diet. That'd be it. I'm very much that girl. I don't want to live without potatoes. I don't want to live without beef. I don't want to live without seafood. And I don't want to live without macaroni. If I had to give up one of those four, I'd probably give up the macaroni. I would never give up seafood ever in my life. I can't. If hard pressed, I could probably give up beef, but I'd have to replace it with another kind of meat. I just will never give up seafood. Whether it's, like a fish or, shellfish or crustacean, like one of those, what are those things called? Or crustaceans are different than shellfish, right? Like, I don't want to give up shrimp. I don't want to give up clams, mussels. I love mussels. Mussels in a good gravy. Oh, forget it. Like a nice Diablo marinara sauce with a big loaf of Italian bread. That's a meal. That's a meal. I know a lot of like Italian restaurants and everything, they serve like pasta with like the mussels marinara on top of it. I never like that. Just like I don't like chicken cacciatore. I don't like to mix that. I don't know. It's a weird thing. I know. I'm weird. Sorry. I don't want to have to pick through my goddamn macaroni to take the fish out. Because when you make it with mussels, they're still in the shell. It just looks weird. But yet I'll eat paella. I love paella. If you haven't had paella, look it up and make it, because dear God, I'm never giving my meat, especially beef, up, which is why I started checking out the carnivore diet. Apparently, if you partake in the carnivore diet, because of all like the chewing and everything, it firms up your neck muscles and the skin on your neck. I didn't know this. I watched a whole video on it. Chewing beef improves your teeth because your teeth are meant to chew that. So you're actually sharpening your teeth. Your teeth get better as you chew meat. And you lose, like, if you have like a double chin or like that, my mother has like that turkey waddle, which I love because she'll talk and I'll reach out and I'll flick it with my finger and go, and she's like, would you stop? I'm like, gobble, 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 gobble. She's like, I hate you. I'm like, no, but why? Why did it do that? Like, why does it hang like that? She's like, you'll get old too. I'm 50 and I don't look like you. Get out of here. Like, I don't look like you looked when you were 50. Stop it. Like, I look like grandma, maybe. Like, I have that kind of skin, but like you, no. My grandmother didn't have any wrinkles. She had like, her skin was looser when she was 80, but I mean, she still had beautiful skin. And I was, well, what do you put on your skin? She didn't use moisturizers. She didn't use any of that shit. Cold water and soap. That was it. When she was like 75, she was upset that she had like dark spots on her face, and her doctor was Lebanese. And he said, he was like, I could give you a prescription for like he's named like all these like Accutane or whatever. He was like, just put sunscreen on. She's like, what? He was like, in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night, put a little bit of sunscreen, rub it in, and you'll be fine. Within a month, her face was completely like all one tone and like perfect. And I was like, what the fuck? And she was like, I don't even go in the sun. She was like, it just helps. And it did. Better than any. He was like, any sunscreen. Don't use moisturizer, use sunscreen. And she was like, I don't put anything on my face. He was like, use sunscreen. And it did. It evened out her skin tone completely. And it even like smoothed out her skin and it like reduced her pore. I was like, what the fuck? I'm not at that point yet. I'm not at that point. But then again, I haven't seen sunlight in like a year. So it's like, Actually, it's longer than a year. God. I gotta get out of this house. The thing is, there's nowhere to go. Like, there's nowhere in this town for me to go where I could just be by myself and not have to deal with tons of fucking people. Rude ass people, too. I haven't seen you in front. Leave me alone. I just want to go sit outside. I can't do that here. If I sit on one of those benches, which right now have like nothing but bums on them, 80 fucking people are going to go through my goddamn courtyard and be like, oh my God, Michelle, I haven't seen you in front. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. This is why I don't leave the house. because I don't want to talk to you people. If I wanted to talk to you, I would go to your house or I would call you. Have I called you? No, then I don't want to talk to you. Leave me alone. I want to be by myself. When I'm sitting there going, oh, I'm so lonely, I don't do that. If I feel lonely, I friggin' go and I start a stream. Like, I don't want to deal with people. Because everybody, as soon as I deal with them, it inevitably goes to, you know what, I was thinking about you the other day. Could you do me a favor? No, I fucking can't. No, I fucking can't. Don't make me say no. Mom cooked lots of meat, pot veggies every night. So that's the way I eat when I can eat. Not so much fun anymore figuring out what to eat. Oh, believe me, I know. I'm like, I really want this. Is it going to make me sick? Is it not going to? Because some things, because I'm not as active, they don't sit right. So I don't digest them as fast as I did before. And they make me sick. It's weird. I have to be very careful with that kind of stuff now. Perfect. I need to get rid of my jowls. Just call me Bulldog over here. Stop it. You do not have jowls, jerk. Yeah. I've seen your ass on camera. You don't have jowls. Stop, woman. You're beautiful. That gut is rub. That's right. See, look, she even did the Jersey stop, even though she did the Boston kind. Although you can flex your jaw and it tones the neck. Well, that's what the chewing does. Like, because you have to chew the beef, like you have to chew the meat so much to digest it. It works the muscles that you don't get when you're chewing like salad or bread. Like, it's a different kind of bite. And it stimulates all those muscles and nerves, and it firms up your chin. It firms up your neck. I thought that was really interesting. I was like, oh, that explains a lot. Now, I'm not talking about hamburger because you don't really chew hamburger. It's already ground up. I'm talking about steak, chops, ribs, stuff you actually have to like, you have to gnash. We don't gnash our food anymore. And I'll be honest, I'm usually in such a hurry to like get through the meal because I have something else I have to do or I have to talk or whatever, that I chew, swallow. Half the things I eat are I just swallow them. They just slide down. My son laughs when I take my pills because I have like 13 pills that I take and they're all big. And I take the whole organizer and I just open it and I just dump them right into my mouth, take a little sip of something and they're gone. He's like, how the hell? And I'm like, what? He's like, that was a lot of pills. You just swallowed them in like one go with like a little bit of water. Listen, dude, like, I don't want to have this conversation with you. It's like, you don't need to know. That's mommy's personal trick. Go away. Like, just go away. But yeah, no, I purposely like, I have to stop myself and chew my food. I have to tell myself, chew it, bitch, because otherwise I'll just swallow it whole. It's like nothing. It doesn't affect me at all. And it's not good for you, but it is what it is. Anyway, I had a good time today. I hope you guys, did you enjoy it? Because I had a good time telling stories and going back over stuff. When I think about the things that we did, like, it was just such a good time. The 80s were awesome. The music was always, new, and there was something for everybody. You never got attached to one type of music because there was so much that every month, like, new stuff was coming out. New. And you would buy whole albums and discover songs that they weren't going to play on the radio. And you'd be like, oh my God, that's how you knew if somebody was really a fan of a band or a fan of an artist. Because you'd be like, oh yeah, you ever heard this song? Yeah, I heard that's on this album. And you're like, yeah, all right. It was like a coded language. If they didn't know it, then they only listened to the radio. They weren't really a fan. Like, they liked whatever was popular. They didn't actually like the artist. If you knew like all the songs, you liked that artist. You didn't care if they never got airtime over that song. That was a song like the one that I'm scrolling at the bottom of my screen. It's called Monday, and it's by Sonny and Cher. It was not a popular song. They didn't play it on the radio. They didn't do well with it, but it was on an LP that they had that I listened to, and I fucking fell in love with the song because it just hit me. And so many people were like, I never heard that song. They're like, I heard Bang Bang. Yeah, no, that I didn't go for the trendy songs. Like Bang Bang, I shot my baby down or whatever. My baby shot me down. I forget how the fuck it went. But that one didn't appeal to me. Monday appealed to me. Yeah, I liked United We Stand, Divided We Fall. Sonny and Cher. I liked Cher's Half Breed. Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. But then like she had other hits that I was like, meh. Like they were too mainstream. Like everybody, I have this weird thing where if everybody likes something, I won't even try it. I won't, because I'm like, no. I'm like, no, it's just the current thing. I'm not going to do what everybody else is doing. Hence why I didn't watch Smallville when it started. Why I didn't watch Buffy when it started. Why I didn't watch Supernatural when it started. I watched things that my friends weren't watching, like shit like House of Cards. Like, they were like, why would you watch that? You don't even like politics. That's the drama of it. It's amazing. Like, are you kidding me? Excuse me. Sorry. Caught a chill right then. Yeah, I don't know. It's this weird rebel thing in my head. It's not really being rebellious. I just don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to be a sheep, and just, oh yeah, everybody likes it, so let me go try it. No. Like, thank you, Wolfkinder. Very sweet of you to say. Yeah, no, I didn't like doing what everybody else did. If everybody liked this song, I would wait months to listen to it. I'd hear it on the radio. I refuse to learn it. If it got in my ear, then I'm like, all right, fine. But no, I like doing my own thing. None of the kids my age knew what the fuck the CBGB was. None of them. I was scrolling through something the other day and I stopped at. I was like, why is the bathroom from CBGB up here? And I was like, who took a picture? Like, why are they using that? And I stopped and I was like, maybe I'm wrong. And I like looked and it was like the bathroom at CBG. And I was like, see, I knew that was that bathroom. I've never been there, like to that bathroom. I've been to CBGB. I was there like, I think right before it closed. I was young. I was a teenager. But yeah, I've been there. I know about the shit on the floor and all that. But I never went in the bathroom because I wasn't that brave. Like you walk in that bathroom. Wow, check me out. I ain't even gonna say where I went with that. But you go in that bathroom, you come out with syphilis. You don't even have to touch anything. Like it's just syphilis and Hep C as soon as you walk in that bathroom. But yeah, no, I wasn't that brave. But I also don't really remember a lot of it because I was high as fuck. Nancy dragged me there. So I was 15? So it's, oh my God, that was a long fucking time ago. And I didn't get to see anybody like noteworthy. Like the bands that were up there they were just crap. They were just up there just banging away. Like, and it was like whatever. I didn't see anybody hanging out there that I knew of. Like, there was no like it. You think of CBGB and you think Ramones, you think Blondie, you think Lou Reed, you think Iggy Pop, like all those types of people. But no, there was nobody there when we went. Nobody that I remember at any rate. If I didn't go to a concert to meet people, then I just went to the gas station because they'd all eventually come in anyway. My uncle used to love walking in with celebrities. Be like, look who I met outside. Oh. God damn it. But I tell you, the only one that ever like made me speechless was Mick Jagger. Oh my goodness. look up a bit. Blessings from both. Aw, thank you, Wolfram. I missed that completely because then Mimsy followed up with like links and it scrolled way past. Thank you so much. Aw. God bless you from both of you. Well, God bless you right back. Thank you very much for your sneeze blessings. Well remembered. Well remembered. As soon as you said bless you, I was like, oh, that's right. She was there for my little rant about saying God bless you, because otherwise it's fucking rude. Yeah, no, it's what the hell was I talking about? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Oh, Mick Jagger. Yeah, no, I couldn't talk. Can you imagine me not being able to talk? Like, I literally just like my head's going, it's Mick Jagger. It's Mick Jagger. Oh my God, that's Mick Jagger. Not even recognizing that it's Emilio Estevez standing right fucking next to him, which is where I should have been spazzing out for the age I was. But no. Oh my God, it's Mick Jagger. Oh my God, it's Mick Jagger. Like, that was my biggest thing. And all I could think was, oh, I can't believe Daddy's gone. He would have loved this. Because he loved the Rolling Stones. Loved the Rolling Stones. And he just thought Mick Jagger was cool as fuck. He was like, he knows how to have fun. You think? And he wasn't even like alive when they came out with like those tell-all books and everything. I was in high school when they came out with that book. I read it. I forget who did it. It was Kitty Kelly or I forget. But somebody wrote like a biography about Mick Jagger and they put all this stuff in there about like him and Keith Richards and David Bowie and, you know, like all their different, like him interacting with Tina Turner. It was a really good book. I used to love to read those. Now, every day we get that information. What big ears you have, the better to hear you with. Mm-hmm. We were both there for the rant. Were you? 1 second. Sorry about that. I had a child interrupt us. He said that he brought the cat out. I guess she was in the room and he's trying to like eat something and she's trying to take it from him. So he carried her all the way out. She looks so insulted right now. I'm so mad. I took a video of her last night. I was focusing on the rug, on an empty space of rug, because she was nowhere in the room. And I was like, it's the perfect time. I can get her to do it. And I hit record and I'm recording the piece of rug where I wanted her to pop up. And I didn't realize that it was out of focus because it was just taking a picture of the rug. And I said, you want to see her come in here quick? You want some? And all you hear from the other room was, Mom! And she just, but she was blurry. And I'm so mad that I'm like, oh, because then after that, she just sat there for like an hour. Like, bitch, you called me for food. All you got to say to Snips is, you want some? Like, she's ready. No matter what you eat, she wants to smell it. She wants to taste it. And then she wants to either eat it or mock you terribly for it. She will give you the look like, oh my God, you're going to eat that? Ew. And she just sits there and like disdainfully watches you. Like, ew. Bitch, that's how I feel when you're eating your food. She's very judgmental, just so you know. Yes, I humanize my pets. Like, I can't help it. They have personalities. Right now, Boo is laying on my bed, watching Snips eat dry food, waiting for the perfect opportunity to smack her in the head. And then he'll come by me for protection because she's going to fuck him up. Every day. 2-3 times a day. I don't get it. It's a game for them. And for me, it's just get off me. Get off me. Stop. I am not your playground. Get away from me. They think I'm like a jungle gym that they can climb. You were both there for the rant. No, you're always there for me. I love it. The better to hear you with. What a big mouth. The better to eat you with. Yeah, that took on a different connotation the more years I accrued. Like, the older I get, the more I'm like, I read these nursery rhymes and I'm like, holy shit. Like we read these to kids? This is fucked up. That's why I did that nursery rhyme video thing, because I was like, these are messed up. Like the kitty one, I can't. I love my warm pussy. Oh, great. That's a great poem for kids. Galveston that was made by an OBGYN. I've been watching like so many shorts of that lady that you sent me. She's got a lot of really good, like a lot of good hacks, like life hacks. I like her. I've been trying to sleep so much this week. I haven't gotten into any long form of anybody. I've been so off kilter, off week, see, all week. Yeah, it's anti-inflammatory food in combination with intermittent fasting and low carbs. Oh, I don't know if I like the low carbs thing, but I could. I just won't like it. I don't know. I miss my bread. I could even like macaroni. I could do without the macaroni. I know it's terrible, but yeah, she's the one who made. I figured that. Yeah, because you like her, and I know when you like something, you thoroughly research it. But I like her. I like the way she presents things. And she's like, and let me tell you something. If you go to the doctor and you tell them this, and they tell you this, they're lying to you. Do not let them lie. I was like, okay, damn. But no, I like stuff like that. So thank you very much for sending that to me. It was helpful. And I'll get into the longer form videos, but I enjoy the shorts. I do. But all right. So we've been going almost 4 hours, and I need a nap. I do. I only slept like 4 hours because I didn't want to go to bed last night, and then when I did, I was dead to the world. And yet I woke up on time to do the show. So it was like, hey. See, you guys don't realize there's no prep in the morning for the show itself, but it takes me an hour and a half to wake up before I can face you. Because otherwise I'm just a miserable fuck. Well, I went on a deep dive to add supplements to my daily regime and found her. She's been so helpful. Awesome. That's awesome. I just bought like a whole bunch of new supplements, and I had to replace the supplements that I have. So now I'll be like taking like 15 pills, but whatever. I knew that going in because the only help for the Lyme disease symptoms is through supplements. Like regular pharmaceuticals don't do anything but mask it. I'm trying to actually reverse, conditions to just do away with them. So it's a slow road, but if it gets me to where I can permanently get rid of these things, that's what I'm going to do. I'd rather do that than damage other parts of my body just to not feel the bad things that are going on with the conditions that I have. Like, don't make me pretend it's not there. I'd rather feel the pain and heal than not feel the pain and let it be there for the rest of my life. So I know it's not the popular opinion, but I'm going for longevity, not the right now fix. Like I said, I have a high pain tolerance. I'm in pain 24/7. It doesn't matter. I'm always in pain. And it's funny because people tell me like, this hurts, that hurts. And I'm like, mm-hmm. Now there's pain and then there's pain. So when somebody says, I'm a little stiff today. I'm like, I feel bad for them. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I don't want anybody to feel this, but girl, like, be happy that you only have that. Like, be happy that's all you got. Or like, dude, like, complain about it all you want. I'm glad that's all you have. I'm actually happy for them that like that's the limit to their pain. Having a high pain tolerance is really, really bad. It's really bad because you don't address things until they're, intolerable, which usually means it's too late. And you tend to just be like, you just suck it up and you live with it. And then you don't have energy to do anything else because all your energy is going into trying to ignore that pain. And I know that there's people here who know exactly what I'm talking about. All of you do. I don't want anybody to be in that kind of pain. it changes your personality and it isolates you from everybody else because you don't want to complain about it. The people who really feel pain don't really bitch about it because you're just like, I don't want anybody to feel bad for me. And I don't want them to empathize because I don't want them to feel this. You really don't. You know, there's some of us who we could share our pain with each other because we know that we're about level when it comes to it. Like we're about the same. So it's like you're not hurting anybody else. You're just swapping pain for a minute. And it feels good to like, you know, be like, all right, somebody knows how I feel. And it is. It's a horrible feeling knowing somebody feels that way, but it's also it keeps you in touch with reality. You know, like, okay, there are other people going through this like me, you know, and they don't complain about it either. So I'm not so weird. You know, they get it. You just want somebody to get you once in a while. But I don't know. I feel pretty good today. I still got that damn headache, but I feel pretty good. Or if you're like me and haven't had any info on menopause, check it. There you go. Mary Claire. Mary Claire Haver, I think her name. Is it Haver or Haver? Yeah, guys, check her out. She's good. She's good. I like her. There you go. The Galveston diet. Galveston is where? Is that in Texas? It is, right? Or is that? I don't remember where that is. Again, my brain, but whatever. There was something I wanted to tell you guys, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. If you can, check out Winning's episode from last night of Unveiling Reality. He did a total debunk from start to finish on chemtrails. It's really long. It's really good. I had a really, like, I'm not going to say fun time. I had fun because I'm me, but it was really, really informative. It was very interesting. And I didn't realize that it went as long as it did because it went so quick. It's a lot of information broken down really, really well. He stops all the time and does commentary on it. So like he's telling you all these different things and it's many, many layers, but it was so good. It was so good. I'm so proud of him for last night's episode. He did a really good job. So kudos out there to Winning, who's probably sleeping right now. But yeah, do me a favor and just check out that episode. You'll get the whole thing is on Rumble, but most of it is on YouTube. He just didn't do the exclusive content at the end on YouTube because it has Joe Rogan in it. And Joe Rogan will have him struck. No, he didn't want to do that. So he did like the whole explanation on YouTube and Rumble. But if you want that exclusive content, that's on Rumble. And if you haven't followed him on Rumble, please do. He just hit 400. So proud. I'm so proud. He's doing so well on there. So if you can, check that out. I would appreciate it. Leave him a like, maybe leave him a comment because he really wants that one to get out there because he's tired of people being able to grift off the chemtrail thing. He's tired of people taking advantage of other people who don't know. Because if you can fool them into one area and you gain credibility with that person in that one area, you can infect them with misinformation and conspiracy bullshit in other areas. And it's just a slippery slope. So you know how he is about the truth. So deprogramming the chemtrail conspiracy with Winning. Yep. And he does the whole thing. He did from start to finish and from multiple angles too. So like nobody can really argue it. If you can, please do. Because he loves that shit. Like nobody ever goes back at him and goes, hey, da, 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 da. Like he wants to be able to prove his point. So if you can, give that a watch, give it a like, give him a follow. On Rumble, he needs a follow. He also needs, make sure you're still subbed up to him if you can, because we've been getting unsubbed. People are like, I swear to God, I didn't see the notification. Then I looked and I'm not subbed to you. What? Like, I didn't do it. I swear to God. I'm like, I know you're always there. YouTube is just being weird. It's just doing random shit now. I literally checked my social blade the other day to see like where I was like fluctuating. And one of my days I had minus 16 views. How do you have minus 16 views? They guessed that 16 people out there decided I'm not going to watch her and not click on my video. Is that how do you get a minus view? How do you get negative view count? How does that work? This is that you start at 0 and you can only go up. They're like, oh no, I heard 16 people say I'm not watching that bitch's video, so minus 16 for her. That's not how it works. But apparently now it does. So it's like, okay, whatever. I don't even know what to say. So there's something wonky going on. So do me a favor, just check and make sure that everything is copacetic on your end, and we're good to go. And he'll be doing Saturday night, I believe. I think he wants to have a guest on. He's not telling me who it is. But that's on him. So tune in Saturday night and for Winning Reality, Winning Saturday night. And then tune in on Sunday for the old school watch party with me and Winning. I don't know what documentary we're watching, but the movie that we watch will be something Monty Python related. I'm pretty sure because that's the mind space he's in right now. So I think it might be The Life of Brian. I'm not entirely sure. But come on, come in and hang out and joke with me. And if Inya's around, make sure, make sure you get just as debaucherous as her and I get and as silly because it's great. We love to have fun. And have a really good weekend. I know I'm weird with the outros. I hate saying goodbye. It's the Jersey goodbye. It takes me 20 minutes, sometimes an hour. But I love you guys. Take care. Be safe. Have fun. And don't let the world get you down. Remember, no matter how bad it is, you survived your childhood. You could survive anything. Nuclear war. Pfft. Insurrection. Pfft. Like, that's nothing. These people, they're all pussies. They'll be fine. But anyway, I love you guys. And I will see you in the Funny Papers. Bye.
Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. 4 a.m. at a diner, stop singing, living on a
And doggone it, people like me.
I'm thinking maybe you're a Jersey girl with all those highlights in your hair. No other girl can move like you. We pump our fists, damn right it's true. And I don't care what they might say, they'll never get us anyway. So be my Jersey girl, and take a little ride with me tonight. And let's get dirty, girl. I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. The way you turn it up, turn me on, and then you take it off. Make it hot, make it loud. We'll wake the whole town. Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside.
Yeah, listen up. Let me tell you about a girl from Jersey. She was looking so fine with her hips so curvy. I wanna over down to Seaside Heights and a boardwalk fight at the end of the night. Hey, hold up, got a situation, got a condensation from the girl's gyration. She's hot like the girl next door with a tig gold bitties that I can't ignore.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
I'd be